Hello, everybody, and welcome to Unscripted Access, episode number 78. You're here with your host, Nick McCandless. On this week's show, I also have Bronson Fiore
I have a cold, feel bad.
and Anthony Ta.
I'm going to get a cold very soon, judging how everyone around me got sick, so I'm probably
Well,
next.
yeah, you have to come over to my house to record, so...
Yeah, and I'm sitting
You
around
are-
ill people. Like,
you
everyone
are-
I know is just getting ill. I've seen professors get ill, I've had classmates get ill, you got ill, and I'm just like, oh man, I'm loading up on NyQuil right now.
Anthony, I swear they did not pay me to mention this. Pick you up some of those emergencies, like powders you put in the water. Those are the best things to drink when you think you're going to get sick or feel like you're getting sick.
What do you recommend?
The orange ones. That's when I drink. They're emergencies. You drink 2 a day, every day, and they boost your immune system with like vitamin C overdose, but it's healthy. Yeah.
Ooh, that sounds great. So I'm gonna make an emergency run to Walmart tomorrow and find one. In addition, I'll also try to have a happier life because being angry and sad and having negative feelings actually make you more likely to get sick. So I'm gonna try and be more optimistic.
So the way I typically avoid getting sick is, but this just hit me out of like, it tricked me. My illness tricked me because I thought I was just out in the sun too long from my temp service job. But no, what happened is I got out, I started feeling like crap like on Sunday night, but I got off from work, so I was like, okay, I feel like crap, but all right, like maybe, maybe it's just sun poisoning or I got too much sun. I kind of feel sick the next day, and then today I have just felt the absolute worst, and so it snuck up on me and had to sneak in with a sunburn, basically. Otherwise, I normally just drink, like, when I feel sick, I make this garlic pasta pesto. It's like 70% garlic, 30% noodles. And then I drink a bunch of orange juice, and then because of all the vitamin C and antioxidants and good stuff in that, it just kicks the cold's ass.
I remember when I tried.
That's what the emergencies do. Yeah, you'll see
like
them,
I remember
go to,
I
the cold and
traveled.
flu section, and you'll see them. They'll come in like a box of like 30, and you'll have enough for the next time too. That's what I did when I got really sick, and it helped me a lot.
When I traveled and was starting to feel ill on the day I was traveling, it was like, okay, orange juice. Didn't drink a single can of soda, just orange juice.
Oh, soda is just the worst for you when you are sick, unless you want to settle your stomach with some 7-Up.
I do remember when I was young, though. When I was young, my mom said that the doctor recommended that I drink like 7-Up because carbonated drinks help somehow. And then I found out that the reason why carbonated drinks made my throat feel better was because it was a cold beverage.
Yeah.
So I've decided that it's just like, ooh, have a problem? Drink icy cold water. Helps the throat longer. So hot food. So I used to do hot food.
So, one thing that I do when I have a cold a lot of the time is I'll do really spicy foods. Like today I made buffalo wings, and I have realized over this, like, no matter how you get buffalo wings, be it make them at home, buy them at Domino's, or buy them frozen at the store, they're expensive to make. And that sucks because they're delicious.
Yeah, getting ill. You know, it's kind of funny too because it hasn't actually been that cold in our city for the past few days. It just was windy and rained a few days.
Didn't even rain.
So I'm guessing the wind got people ill because rain doesn't really. I mean, the wind when it has that chill in it just gets people. It just gets people.
Yeah, I mean, it was really weird. Like, a couple of days ago, I look outside my house, it looks like fucking Hurricane Katrina. The next day I look outside my house, totally fine.
The weather is weird like that here. It is, isn't it? Like, it would be the city where it would be like 101 degrees at 2 o'clock, and by 3:30 p.m. the temperature had dropped down to 80 with rain. yeah, things can get pretty whack. Unlike in Los Angeles, where it can be sunshine and beautiful.
It rains maybe once or twice a month, and that's about it.
Actually, that's more often than Reno.
Yeah, a steady 70 degrees all year round.
Yeah, good weather, consistent weather, I should say. Reno is just good at being consistently dry, but everything else is just kind of in the air.
No, during the winter, like, it's always sunny here also.
It's like, what, 300 sunny days a year?
Well, yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's so sunny.
It's always sunny in Reno instead of Philadelphia.
You know how in Los Angeles last year, I remember this, they started doing news stories about how it got really cold, and it was only like 45 degrees, and everyone's bringing out thick jackets, and the whole country laughed at you guys. In Reno, that's if it gets cloudy for more than a week. I remember there was this one June, I think it was in middle school, where it was cloudy every single day, and the newspaper was just like, in a city that gets 310 sunny days a year, it has been nothing but clouds all of June. And I'm like, is that supposed to be a bad thing? Because if anything, that means I don't have to turn on the air conditioning yet.
Yeah.
It saves on my electrical bill, and I can go outside without dying.
Yeah, as someone who does not have an air conditioner in their house, I want it to stay as cloudy as possible during the summer. I remember this summer we had that like week where it was just nothing but clouds. It was the best.
It was also the same summer where we had a week of nothing but triple-digit temperatures.
Oh god, that was the worst.
AC, damn, that sucks.
But no, dude, I started my job at AT&T when that happened, so I was
at least you were in an air-conditioned building, right?
Yeah, no, I was so happy to go to work.
Actually, it would have to be, or also be unfavorable working conditions.
Well, tell that to every person who ever worked on a construction site.
But on a construction site, it's outdoors.
Yeah. Oh man, but it was just absolutely the worst, the absolute worst. So like, I would actually be happy to go to work because I'd be in an air-conditioned building from like 12 o'clock until 10, and then when I get out of work, it's cool. You know?
It's cool.
All right, cool. So moving along from sickness and weather, Titanfall.
Titanfall, yes, the beta
has been out, and
it's
both
done.
Bronson and I have played it, and Anthony has completed the tutorial, but Anthony was with Bronson for a 60-minute access series, which is on thegamereaccess.com, so be sure to check it out. But yeah, Titanfall's out. We've got a chance to check out the beta. What are your thoughts, Bronson? I'll provide mine. I'll provide mine now, actually. So with Titanfall, this is the thing. Titanfall it's actually a little bit better than what I was expecting, because Titanfall, everyone was saying, oh, it's Call of Duty with mechs. And it's actually a bit different. Titanfall, it goes about it in a different manner. There's a couple really cool things that I didn't know existed in Titanfall because I was following it, but I didn't know all the details. I wasn't like super stoked for it. Like, I was looking forward to it, but I wasn't like super stoked for it. So one thing I really like is the fact that when your mech is about to blow up, you have the option of ejecting from the mech to keep from dying. Now, pretty much how Titanfall works, if you didn't get a chance to play Titanfall, usually you start on foot, unless you're playing Last Titan Standing, which pretty much with Last Titan Standing, what you do is everyone starts out in a mech.
Fucking giant robot.
You don't, you don't spawn. It's pretty much like I said, it's Last Titan Standing, and essentially what goes on is it's in rounds. So whatever team has the last Titan standing, they get a point, and you keep going, and whoever wins the most games wins the round. Well, wins the match, I should say. So other than that, you start on ground, and you start out, I think it's like 4 minutes. You have to wait 4 minutes for your mech to fully build and be able to send it down to the ground. Now, it's really cool because you get to tell it where to send the mech, and it doesn't just appear. You actually see it fall from the sky and crash, and then there's a temporary shield so that you're able to get into your mech without being shot immediately. Another cool thing is not only can you get in your mech, you can control your mech. So you can tell your mech to follow you, so you can go run around.
That was really cool when I found that out in the tutorial.
Right, yeah. So
that was really cool. It's like, follow me, or guard this position.
Right.
So, like, two basic commands, but it's really cool.
Yeah, it can follow you, or you can stand its ground. So, for example, not only is there's last time standing, then there's attrition, I think is what it's called, which is pretty much team deathmatch.
Deathmatch.
And then they
coming in.
have I forgot what they call it, but it's like territorial.
Hard point.
Yeah, hard point. So you have ABC. You both hold. You just try to hold it in the faster.
It's basically Call of Duty domination.
Right.
That's how I saw it. It's just with the Titanfall twist to it.
Pretty much every first-person shooter has it, where there's 3 points. The more you hold,
yeah, but
the
I think they
kind of
called it domination also, which I found to be a little bit.
But they call it a hard point.
Yeah.
But no. So what I liked about the mech fights is
you can tell to stand its ground. So, for example, just like other games, you get XP points not only for killing people and capturing a capture point, but you get points for holding it and protecting it. So you could, for example, bring your mech down, go after B, but keep your mech back at A to protect. And sometimes it's cool because it's not going to be as good as if you were controlling it, obviously. Otherwise, it'd be a little bit unfair. But it's nice to see you're going to click B and you say, oh shit, my mech's killing all these people. I'm getting points for the work that it's doing, which is really cool.
One thing I really liked, just one of the perks that you could unlock later in the beta, was where when your mech explodes, there's a nuclear explosion. So what I would do is when I'm about to die is I would just like start running into a group of enemy titans and just be like, yes, shoot me as much as possible. I want to take all 3 of you down while I eject to safety.
And that's another cool thing, like the eject is actually really cool. Like you really eject, like you don't just like jump out, like you shoot up in the air, which kind of gives you advantage because you get to plan your next move.
It kind of gives you that fighter pilot view, but at the same time you can kind of use that as a tactical advantage because you get that one view of the entire battlefield to see what's going on.
Right, and then it gives you time. You can switch to your anti-Titan weapon, because so essentially you have your standard gun, you have your pistol, and then you can once you level up, you can get the smart pistol, which pretty much allows you to lock on to
the smart pistol. Is OP bullshit. I'm gonna say it right now.
Well, yeah, I'm not a fan of it, but I've been killed by it several times, and pretty much what it does is you lock on the players within around your reticule. And it locks onto them, and the longer you hold on to it, the more shots, and it'll kill them.
Yeah, but there's a problem with that, is you can't, most shots miss by a little bit. And that thing just kind of takes away the problem, so all of a sudden you have far better accuracy.
Right. And then, so you have those guns, but then you have what's called your anti-Titan weapons. So you may think, well, if you're on ground, you're screwed, because you're going to see these huge Titans. And that's not really the case. Because you have these anti-Titan weapons, which you can lock onto these mechs, and not one missile will blow it up. But you have your other teammates fighting with their Titans, and then you shoot it with that. You can eventually take it down. I've had several kills where I've brought down Titans while on ground. Plus, another thing you can do, which is really cool.
I actually would prefer being on ground a lot of the time, because you can ask Anthony this. I was a fucking rodeo master. That's the thing. That's what's really cool and they don't even. I kind of had to find that out myself because they don't really tell you that in the tutorial. So essentially, what you can do is while you're on ground, because the cool thing about Titanfall, it's different from shooters, because you can run up walls, you can double jump. Like a true double jump. Like you can jump on top of a building. It's pretty crazy. But you can also jump onto these mechs. And you pull this part off, and you're able to shoot into their critical part and blow up the Titan, which is really cool. And like I said, that's something I found out by accident. I was blasted up in the air and accidentally landed on a Titan. I'm like, is this a bug? I'm like, oh shit, I can actually shoot it. And I was like, oh shit, let me try it again. And I was able to do it, which is really cool. And something that you might be like, well, what if you're on a Titan and someone does that to you? Well, you have 2 options. You either jump out and kill them, or you have your friend, or you have your teammates.
Actually, if you get high enough level, you can actually have a static, like a lightning static smoke grenade, which will kill the guy riding on the back of your Titan. Pretty cool.
So there you go. So third option.
Yeah, like
you have to unlock it, though,
the second that I unlocked Electric Smoke, I was like, okay, gotta have this. It's been a while since I've been really impressed with a multiplayer first-person shooter. I used to play competitive first-person shooters all the time. I was one of those MLG guys. I used to love them. The last game that I played and actually made money, though, was Halo 3. And the last one I played competitively was Reach. So it's to say it's been a while since I've gotten into one of these games. You know, it's been quite some time. So, and I wasn't hyped for Titanfall. Like, I kind of had a mild interest in it, but I was like, when it comes to... I'll get it when I get an Xbox One later down the road, or I'll get it when, price drop happens. Something along those lines was my general thought process. I played this, and I was thoroughly impressed. I wanted that game. I think that has the potential to be the next Halo, the next COD. It was super fun. I could not get enough of it. A general way I know I'm going to be really addicted to a game is if I play it before work. Because usually I don't play games before work, especially ones that require any sort of real focus. I played this before work, and I played a lot of it before work. So I really liked. The only weapon I didn't like was the smart pistol. I thought it was kind of bullshit. Mech fights were great. I like that whole evacuation thing. That at the end of the fight, if you win, you have to go chase down all the survivors.
Oh, yeah, that is cool.
And if you lose, you have to make it on the dropship.
That is great because it's like one of those... It's like, if you lose, you still have a chance to kind of have some redemption factor. Whereas, and if you're the winning team, you have a chance to get it in just a little bit more. So...
no, I remember today I had a match where, like, the ship, 5 of our 6 team members were in Titans, and that ship came, and we were just like, yeah, that thing's not going anywhere. Boom, 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 boom. Just totally destroyed it. But on the other end of that, the second time I was in a match, I made it into the ship with like 2 seconds left, and it took off, and it's like 200 points, sole survivor.
Yep, I had that happen too. Well, it was crazy. So actually, this was actually the first match I had, which is crazy because I had no clue what this thing was. So I evacuate it. So I go jump it in the air, and it's like going to the drop ship. So I'm like, okay. So I landed on top of the drop ship, and all of a sudden, like, I see myself walking in there. I'm like, holy crap! Like, this is actually really cool. And it's like, this is the thing, like, got to give Respawn props because they did a lot of, like, yes, they introduced mechs, but they call them Titans, but they've done a lot of things with this game that are different from your typical first-person shooter. They've added elements that you don't see in other first-person shooters.
They didn't make, like, a Titan feel like just another vehicle. Like, in shooters, they would say, we've added a vehicle, we've added a tank, we've added a helicopter. But in this case, it's like, we've added a Titan, and it is very, very important to how the game functions.
One thing that a game that I always really enjoyed was Mech Assault. And
well, see, that's the thing. Like me, I hated Mech Assault because of the controls. I hated it. How Titanfall controls like you get into the Titanfall and there's like this really cool, like, all you see you walking into the mech and you see all the panels. It's really cool. And then you actually start controlling them, and it controls really well. Whereas, like, Mech Assault, that's what kind of had me worried. It's like, if these Titans control like Mech Assault, I'm probably not going to be able to.
You mean, like, realism to the point where these things are so bulky you can't do anything?
Exactly.
No, that's Steel Battalion. But yeah, like, I was enjoying Mech Assault, but this was a case of, like I said, I went into it with the expectation of just like, it's going to be very Call of Duty-esque, with maybe some other things, but it does have a little bit of that vibe to it. But it also has its own style and its own flavor, and I have a lot of fun with it. And if they can make it so the higher level perks and the higher level stuff is balanced, and they can balance the smart pistol a little bit, yeah, that is going to be a game that is very special. I like. Oh God. And one thing I liked is it's really fast. Like, it is so incredibly fast. Like, it reminded me of almost Unreal Tournament at points. That's how fast it was.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's definitely gonna be hopefully I review it and hopefully I'll get a copy before release. But if I don't, I will definitely be picking up the game. I'm really looking forward to it. Now, one thing, let's talk about this. So, the game originally got a lot of flack because of 6 versus 6. Now, what Titanfall does, that's different. Once again, I'm not aware. I'm not saying it hasn't been done. I'm sure another game's done it, but I'm not aware of another game that integrates. There's AI characters to join the 6x6. So you have grunts, you have specters, and there's another one. What's the third one?
Grunts, specters, and I forgot the last one also.
There's another one, but they're like heavy armored. But essentially, it was funny because I started playing the game and I didn't know anything about these grunts and specters, so I'm like, holy shit, I'm a beast in this game. I'm like killing all these people. I'm like, what in the world? Either I'm just like a beast at this game or these people suck. So I'm like, what's going on? And eventually I'm like looking at who I'm killing. I'm like, killed grunt. I killed grunt again. I killed another grunt. But wait, I killed this person, it shows their ID. Oh, I killed a specter. What's a specter? So, essentially,
Commander Shepard.
It's 6.
That would be like quite a huge achievement though. You can somehow kill Saren Arterias and Commander Shepard.
Yeah, but
that's the DLC. Mass Effect DLC.
So essentially, you have 6 versus 6 with real players. But then you have these other AI-controlled characters, which I kind of have a love-hate relationship with, because I love it because it, like, if you're not really good at games or good at first-person shooters, it makes you feel like you're doing something. Like, you're actually
well, it makes it so you can contribute, because it does contribute to your score count.
Oh, yeah, it does contribute. Like, when you kill a grunt, you get 20 XP points. But if you kill a real person, you get 100 XP points. But essentially, so you see all these people, it's sometimes hard to distinguish. Are they a person? Are they a grunt? It really depends. And there's strategic. I mean, if you wanted to, you could kind of blend in, because it's gotten to a certain point where I do it. Like, I see a group of grunts, I don't even deal with them. I don't kill them because they're really gonna bother me. So you can kind of like blend in with them and use that to your advantage. But my whole thing is like, it's good because, like I said, if you aren't that good, it makes you feel like you're doing something. It contributes
to your team.
There's two kill death ratios. So those who are like really stuck on that, you have a kill death ratio in general, and then you have a kill death ratio with human players, which I feel is good, because someone that's not good doesn't have the time to get really good at a game. Like I said, it makes them feel good about what they're doing, makes them feel like they're good at the game.
I mean, but
then my problem is it kind of eliminates the element where you're like, holy shit, like, is this a real person? Is this a grunt? Like, it gets confusing at times. It kind of eliminates that factor where it's like, what I like about going online is that, hey, I just killed a real person. Whereas, like, these are like AI-controlled characters. So what do you guys think?
So, I like it for a couple of reasons. One, you, Anthony, and I, sorry. You, Anthony, and I never have time to get good at any game. So, that's awesome for that aspect. But also because I know a lot of people who like those kind of games and want to play with their friends, but are bad at them. So, this makes it so they can contribute. And it almost reminds me of a MOBA. Like a League of Legends or a Dota 2 or a game like that, where, you know, you can still contribute and do well and improve yourself by killing these AI people. And, like, yeah, it's the whole aspect of, well, what if you want to battle other people? Like, the other people are on the map, and, you know, that, like, they're easy to spot because, at least in my opinion, after a couple of matches, I can spot who's a human and who's a grunt pretty easily just by the way they act. You know,
right, yeah. It's just, there's been times where I've seen people like blend in with them and they use it to their advantage. Like, they'll walk along with them and it's like, I'll pass by them and then they'll fucking kill me. Which, I mean, I guess that adds a strategic element to the game. I just think I think it's a really good idea. I think it's really cool because it's like I said, we don't really have much time to get really good, so we can go in there and actually get a lot of kills and actually contribute. But I really hope that all I'm asking, and I'm sure they will, I hope they've gotten a lot of feedback for this, is just to have an option, like have a game mode where there's no AI, where it's just. But then it runs into the issue where it's like 6 versus 6. Would that be enough? Would that be enough people? I still think it would be.
I don't know. I think these maps are so big that unless you're doing nothing but Titans, that you kind of have to have the AI in there to help fill it out. Like,
I mean, you think about it, a Titan in a normal deathmatch, a Titan spawns when 2 minutes after the previous one blew up.
It's 4 minutes.
It depends on how good you're doing because it'll speed up if you're kicking.
Okay, so let's say 3 or 4 minutes.
Burn cards. They're called burn cards, which you don't get them till you get to a certain level. It's pretty much these cards, and you can unlock up. I think in the beta at least, you can unlock up to being to hold 3 at a time. Now, how these things work is you don't just apply them and you get these advantages. Like for example, I got one that was 80 seconds off your Titanfall creation, or 40 seconds, or run faster with your Titan, things like that. So, or your pilot, or pilots are what they call when you're not, and that's Titan. So you get these cards, and pretty much when you die or when you die and you spawn, you have the option to select a burn card, and pretty much as burn cards, you can apply them for your whole life. So let's say you get 80 seconds off the build of your Titan, you apply it, but then if you die, you don't get the 80 seconds off again. Same thing if you apply the speed boost to your pilot, it'll stay activated until you die, which I think is also a really cool element to the game. So, but I think you start out. I think it takes 4 minutes default for you to be able to.
Okay. So not everybody has.
I should say your Titan, but like Bronson said, the better you do, the quicker you can get it.
Yeah, not everyone has a Titan.
I was a lot better on the smaller map, like the map in the town. I would just go into the enemy base with a shotgun, kill all their grunts and half their team, and end up with my Titan in the first 2 minutes.
See, the thing is that with the big maps, it's probably going to feel empty without the grunts, because you think about it, not everyone has a Titan all the time, so it's not going to fill up everything. And with big maps, it could be a case of people just hiding in the same corners and it takes forever to find anybody.
Yeah, that's really true.
It's like doing 1 versus 1. It's like doing 1 versus 1 on a normal sized map.
I mean, imagine League without creep. Like, that's basically what you just did for this shooter. Yeah. So yeah,
like I said, I'm pretty impressed with it. I'm definitely gonna get it. Is it good enough to? I know it's available for PC, but are Anthony, you or Bronson getting the Xbox One for this game, or are you just gonna be getting on your PC?
I'm playing on my computer, man. That's
I rated you, Anthony. Anthony.
Sorry. Which platform I'm getting it on?
Yeah, are you going to be getting an Xbox One, or are you just going to get on your PC?
Well, I'm very likely to get it on PC because I have a PC that can run the game right now, today, versus having to go pay $550 for an Xbox One.
But plus, come on now, you want to get a PS4.
Oh, yeah, and the Xbox Live Gold subscription.
Also, you want to get a PS4 so you can play Destiny with Aaron and I.
Yeah.
So...
Cool. Now let's talk about this. Now moving along. What are your guys' thoughts on the graphics? Because this is the thing. To me, Titanfall looks good, but it's definitely not a. It's not a visual gem, I should say. Like, don't go into Titanfall expecting it to look as good as like Battlefield or Killzone. Like, it's not.
It runs on a modified version of the Source engine, which, God knows how old that is. And also, so on the PC side, heads up for everyone who intends to run this shit on a laptop with an NVIDIA card. They apparently have not, at least on the beta, they did not make this thing really that compatible with Optimus tech. So to get like this thing kept so my laptop has a high-end NVIDIA card for when I'm gaming, and then a shitty Intel card for when I'm doing literally anything else. And when I first booted up Titanfall, I cranked the settings all the way up, and it ran like shit and had like a billion texture glitches, and I'm like, okay, what the fuck is going on? This game says this thing runs on a GTX 560. My equivalent is a 650 Ti, so what the fuck is going on?
550 Ti. It's good. It's good. It's good enough, basically. You're fine, basically, is the point.
Yes, and I found out that what I had to do is I had to go into my NVIDIA control panel and designate Titanfall that no matter what this program says or what lies it tells you, run it with the high-end NVIDIA card. And when I did that, I was able to max out all the settings it would give me, though if I wanted to run it on a frame rate that was a little... If I wanted to have the best possible frame rate, I did have to turn down texture resolution. But for the most part, ran at 60 frames, 1080p, looked great. Yeah, like you said, it's not like Battlefield 4 or Killzone, but holy shit, it does look good.
It does look good, and in addition to that, it actually can run on pretty old stuff, too. Like, the minimum specs on this thing is like, hey, you've got a computer from 2007 with a decent graphics card? You're good to go.
Yeah, it pretty much looks like it pretty much looks like, and I hate to compare it to Call of Duty, but like extremely polished Call of Duty. I think Call of Duty Ghost, honestly, Call of Duty Ghost looks better than Titanfall, but imagine playing Call of Duty on like your PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360, but a bit more polished and looks a little bit better. That's what
I would say it looked better than Call of Duty, at least. I was running it on max settings, and at least what it would let me. For some reason, it wouldn't let me do max anti-aliasing. It only let me go to 8x.
I kind of feel like Titanfall is not doing a very good job of recognizing mobile NVIDIA chips.
Yeah.
Well, because the thing is that there's this... I've kind of learned is that when I put it on my computer, I found this anti-alias setting that I don't remember seeing when we were fiddling around with settings with 60-minute access. CSAA. There's MSAA, but that's just kind of general industry standard or whatever. But then I saw CSAA, which I haven't really seen before, and then I think I read one forum that says that it's a proprietary NVIDIA aliasing thing. I'm like, proprietary NVIDIA thing? So I have a 2.5-year-old 550 Ti, and yet Bronson's new 765M doesn't have it. And I thought maybe the reason why the game kept insisting on the Intel chip is because it doesn't know at all or recognize that the NVIDIA mobile chip was right there. And that's what I was thinking, because the game just isn't seeing it.
Yeah, hopefully they have that fixed. Like, I know, for example, on the Xbox One, that they said that the final game's going to run at a higher resolution than what it was in the beta.
Which, I kind of thought to myself, this is kind of a little odd. Like, it's less than a month now, and they're kind of like, I'm pretty sure the game will be a lot better. It won't have like a flashing screen sort of thing like we saw on 60-minute access. It's gonna support NVIDIA chips, and NVIDIA is gonna do whatever it can to get performance optimizations. But for the beta to run like this, like a month before release, just kind of bothers me a little, because a month before release is when the discs are just about to get. The game has gone gold. Or something like that, and the discs start printing.
The game probably is close to gold, but the whole thing of the beta is to test the servers. Like, they've already done their testing.
But the problem is that a lot of people, sort of like myself, kind of take the beta as a demo, and it's kind of like to see this many glitches is a little bothersome. I know that a lot of betas don't really exactly work too great, but. This kind of beta a month before release just kind of makes me think. So a month before release, and this is what they have so far. It's a little worrisome.
Yeah. So that was one of the things that kind of bothered me was the fact that, like, I had to go into that setting to have it recognize the NVIDIA card. And even then, it wouldn't give me the max setting for anti-aliasing. Like, it wouldn't even give me the option. Even though it's supposed to do that for all NVIDIA cards, and I have an NVIDIA card. So, that was weird. I think the game looks good. I actually think it does look better than the next-gen Call of Duties.
You think it looks better than Call of Duty Ghosts?
Yeah, I played Ghost.
I don't think so.
I played Ghost on PS4. I didn't think Ghost, like, I think the single-player Ghost looked great at points, but I didn't think its multiplayer looked all that great.
Yeah, but to be honest, though, the game may not look like a graphics benchmark kind of program, but it can run on quite a lot of things. Like, an 8800 Ultra, the 8800 is pretty old. That's like from 2008. No, not 2008. Maybe even earlier. I don't know. But the 8800 series is pretty old. I've got a 550 Ti, and I could turn on every setting on max except textures and get about 25 or 30 frames if I were to take a guess of what I saw.
But which is weird because I was getting like 50 to 60, and my GPU isn't that much better than
for me, I'm just saying worst case is about 25 or 30, especially when you eject and you see everything. That kind of viewpoint can really hurt frame rates. But, I think it's like they kind of designed it so like, hey, even if you got a mediocre computer, you can still run it.
Yeah, no, it's just that... I'll say this. When I cranked, like, even when you crank all the settings down on that game, it doesn't look too terrible except for the textures. The textures look like a Nintendo 64 game. Yeah, the textures bother...
Actually, to be honest, now you brought up textures, it actually bothers me a bit about the textures, because I played on high as a setting, which I wasn't sure if I was pushing it too hard or not, because insane, to know all you people out there, you need like 3 gigabytes of dedicated video memory to run insane texture packs. Like, they make it really high resolution. So I ran it on high. And the problem is that whenever you look at anything up close, especially the Titan, you kind of notice the texture doesn't look that good. And that kind of bothered me a little.
Dude,
I have a high texture.
Turn textures all the way down. There are some stuff that I was like, are you serious? This looks like it's from a Nintendo 64.
I mean, in open world games like Final Fantasy XIV, where you have to render these huge landscapes and model everything, I understand that they have to use lower resolution textures because, it's a huge world. There's only so much video memory that a graphics card can have. So they scale that back, and it makes sense. But to see that kind of fuzzy texture on a high setting on one of the flagship things of the game, the Titan itself, it just didn't seem right. Honestly, I probably wouldn't mind my building look. I wouldn't mind a garbage bin looking a bit worse to make my Titan look a little better.
Yeah, so...
and it's not like the Titanfall is like a colossal, huge open world game either.
Yeah, and the thing is like, the really fucked part about this is I think the fact that it can run on almost anything kind of hurts it a little bit in the way that it makes it so, or it hurts it for Microsoft in a little bit in the way that people don't have to buy Xbox Ones to play it.
I mean,
it's coming out for Xbox 360.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we all know that's going to be
I always
garbage.
keep forgetting that. I'm just like, oh, yeah.
It's being done by different teams. So.
I know, but the fact it's been done by a different team and it's going to come out later than the other Titanfalls is going to be like... I know they're going to reach out to the huge Xbox 360 user base that still exists, but at the same time, whatever Xbox 360 enthusiasts are there are probably not there anymore because since Halo 4, nothing happened on it.
That's one thing is most of my friends who are hardcore Xbox users bought an Xbox One, and they're going to play Titanfall on it. And
it's going to be marketed as an Xbox One almost to the point where it's going to make it seem exclusive and better.
Oh, yeah, they're already doing that. Like, they're making it seem as if it's not coming to Xbox 360 or PC.
Like, it's going to be pretty interesting to see what the Xbox One to PC ratio is, because I know that, anyone who's a big enthusiast of shooters is probably on a PC. just because the mouse is that much better than an analog stick. Yeah.
I think it will sell better on the PC, just from the standpoint of there's only over a little bit over 3 million Xbox Ones on the market.
Yeah, but Call of Duty sells better on Xbox 360 than it does on PC, I think. So
yeah, but Call of Duty is a different animal. Like this is a.
I know, but Titanfall just kind of seems like that big shooter. It's not like Unreal Tournament or Half-Life, where that you for sure play on a PC because that's where it is meant to be, or something like that. Titanfall is being marketed as an Xbox One thing. It is the next gen era shooter. So that's kind of why I'm not kind of thinking, well, I'm going to be interested to see how Xbox One and PC sales fare. Yeah, actually, PC does have the advantage of the Steam sale, or sorry, the Origin sale, if EA ever does it. So I was going to say sale, and I'm like, hang on, this is EA and Origin. They might not put it on sale for 5 years.
But that is one thing that you have to remember though about this is that they very well could. That the PC is obviously a far bigger user base than the Xbox One, and the fact that this game can run on lower end systems.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think because yes, it's not a graphical beast, but because of that, they've made it accessible to a large audience. The fact that, I would be saying different if the Xbox One had been out for a year, but it hasn't even been out for 6 months yet. It'll be close to 6 months.
However, it
when
could.
Titanfall launches.
It could seem like a killer app for the Xbox One right
now. Over 3 million Xbox Ones are in homes right now. So let's say they're at 4 million. Call of Duty sold close to half. So that, let's just say it's not gonna do as well. Let's say it does Call of Duty. Let's say 2 million. Let's be extremely optimistic. Let's say it sells 2 million in the first month. I still think we're going to see better results on the PC. I think we're going to see it sell better on the Xbox 360 too. Even though it's not being marketed really, people who are really interested in Titanfall know it's coming out for Xbox 360.
The thing that concerns me though is that whenever they always kind of turn over a game to another studio to port, they did that with Dragon Age Origins. It didn't turn out too well. I just kind of feel like it's probably not going to turn out. The port's not going to run well. It's going to lag really badly. It's going to look really iffy. That's my concern as far as them trying to make it run.
Well, yeah, I'm really curious.
On a 360.
Yeah, I'm really curious how the 360 version is going to come out, because Xbox One, we've seen it. We've seen gameplay. We've been able to play it, but there hasn't been any. I looked earlier today. There's no gameplay footage of Titanfall on the Xbox 360, so we have no clue what it looks like or how it plays. In a perfect world, it would play and run just like it would on the Xbox One, just with slightly downgraded visuals.
Yeah, but the thing is, this is a different studio handling the port.
Oh yeah, that's where the problem is probably going to come in.
And the 360's video chip is worse than an 880 GT. 880 Ultra was the minimum spec. Yeah,
I think it was an 880 Ultra.
And the Xbox video chip is about maybe a year or two behind that. So don't know.
One quick, obviously they're gonna only code for one spec though, so that's gonna help. But oh man, even then though, I look at it and I'm just like,
do you want the really lame version of Titan, or do you want the real version of Titan?
Yeah. Also, not only that, but we got asked a question on 6-Minute Access about it running on a MacBook. And I looked through the MacBook car. I want to say it was Cray-T or J-Splay. Said he's looking into getting a MacBook, and he wants to know which MacBook would run it on near max settings. And all of them have Intel cards, except for their highest end model, which has, get this, Anthony, an NVIDIA GT 750.
The 750 is a media maker's dream, Bronson. Respect it.
That's okay. All right.
But yeah, 750 is... Ooh. That's not something you're looking to game on.
I
mean, you could game on it, but it's kind of gonna feel like a low-end PC part. Low-end desktop equivalent.
I would say that when it comes to looking to dual boot Windows and game on a Mac, you are gonna have to get either a Mac desktop or give up on Mac and just go the route of a PC.
Not to mention, I'm not sure if there's going to be some driver problems in trying to... I mean, I'm pretty sure it can work, but you are effectively emulating Windows, I think?
No, it's not emulating. Microsoft fully supports it. It's fully supported. It's not like
I was thinking, that can't be emulation. That seems a little too stupid.
No, Microsoft fully supports Mac. Like, pretty much you designate a part of the hard drive, you can install Windows, and it runs on a Mac just like it would on a PC.
Okay, so, yeah, but at that point, it's like, a 750, I'm guessing medium settings on Titan is what you're looking at on a 750?
Ish?
Yeah, ish. Like, Brazos is 765, and...
GTX, too, not just GT. So...
I'm pretty sure it's labeled as a GTX 750, actually.
No, it's GT. It is just GT.
Oh, okay, yeah, so let me look at a chart, actually, on the NVIDIA website now.
So my advice would be, if you want a laptop that can play games, and you don't want it to be like my Alienware, where it has a bit of weight to it, then I would say get a Razer Blade. It's the same price range as a MacBook, roughly the same size, actually a little bit thinner. They look gorgeous. Screen probably isn't as good as the MacBook, but everything else is rock solid on those things. And you would get specs comparable to mine. You would have the same video card, the same processor, less RAM, less hard drive space, but your hard drive would be an SSD versus mine, which is a standard hard drive.
You know, NVIDIA is like so insist on separating between the GTX and GT that I can't even find a reliable chart on their website.
Yeah, so...
basically, I'm expecting I'm guessing, unlike the 765, which are playing on high settings, I'm guessing a 750 is medium.
Yeah,
so you're not going to get too great of gaming performance.
Like I said, Anthony, he is looking to get... So, like, let's say you want something with the dimension/weight of a MacBook that can play games. Where do you go?
No, the MacBook Pro?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not an expert on that.
The
only two that come off the top of my head is an Alienware 14 or a Razer.
Yeah, like
basically gaming laptops of equivalent price, and you actually might get a bit more. You actually get a more powerful graphics chip, you get bigger hard drive space, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Like I said, if you are looking for something that looks like a Mac, it looks like a Mac, has the weight of a Mac, but plays games well, then I would say the Razer Blade is the route you want to go. Just be warned, that screen is not 1080p. It is, I want to say it's 1600 by 900. And from what I've heard, the quality is on that screen is just okay. So,
if you plan on hooking it up to a monitor TV, you'll be good.
That's true.
That's a pretty nice perk, right? Actually, that is something we need to test. Is it just key bindings, or can you actually plug a PlayStation 4 controller and hope it works right on that game?
So, from what I experienced, you need to have that weird homebrew driver. But when you put in that homebrew driver, you basically, it maps it like an Xbox 360 controller. So, yeah. But I can, however, speak for the Alienware 14. I own one. If you do not mind a thicker computer, then it is fantastic.
And how much was the Alienware you got?
It was so if you get the same build I got, but without any of the discounts that I got, it'll probably run you around $1,600, $1,600 to $1,700 after taxes and whatnot. So, luckily, although if you're smart, you'll go online and hunt down a couple of coupons. They might be refreshing their laptop line during E3, so if you buy right after that, their older models will be cheaper. So, but this is what I like about the Alienware 14. The screen on it is fantastic. I like the aluminum casing. The lights are great. The lights on it look great. Like all Alienware products, you can change multiple different colors. I know people who DJ with Alienwares and turn their Alienware into a fucking strobe light. A fucking just pulsating rainbow lights. Screen is great, high performance. My specs are I have an i7, 16 gigs of RAM with a GTX 765M. My only problem with it, it's a bit thick. When you close it, it is a good 2-3 inches when it's all the way closed. Thick. That's so it can support its dual fans. Because it is so high performance.
Yeah, but even if it supports dual fans, those fans are loud.
Yes. But
so they probably could have. I think they could have done a better job with the thermals. But,
all those fans, though, keep it incredibly cool, even when gaming super hard. So, so that's one good thing. Battery life is mediocre, I would say, unless you turn the brightness down and switch to the integrated card, and even then, it's not super great.
Well, yeah, gaming on any laptop on its battery is not going to last.
Well, yeah, not only
long.
that, but the Alienware has like a bunch of lights on it too.
Even
I know they're low energy LEDs, but still, it's like
yeah. So another screen size, in my opinion, is perfect. Not too big, not too small for a laptop. I personally wouldn't have minded a 15-inch, but everyone has their own opinion on that. Anthony likes a 14-inch. I like a 15-inch. Aaron likes an 18-inch laptop because he's fucking crazy.
You mean 17, because 18 is bigger than the one he has.
You know, if he could buy an
basically 18, a full-on desktop replacement that can be carried around occasionally.
That's what he wants. That I've talked to him. That is what he wants.
That's the reason why you buy a laptop with a 17 or 18-inch screen, is that they are called desktop replacements because these are big systems with a lot of power in them, and they're very expensive, but they're good for occasional portability. Like, they are kind of computers that are portable enough that you can take to LAN parties. But
also, this is a minor complaint, but they do not offer the 770M as an option, and it is actually a great deal more powerful than the 765M.
Yeah, but that thing is probably a lot more expensive to produce. In addition to that, you can't put that in Alienware 14 because that thing will require a cooling solution that is too big to fit in that case.
Exactly.
And that thing was already running quite loud already. So when you're talking about graphics chips and processors, they actually have heat ratings on them, and when you have a pretty high-end part, you need a big cooling solution, and if it can't fit in the case, you can't use it. So, unless, you want it to melt.
The thing about a gaming laptop is you're always going to compromise somewhere, and I feel as though the Alienware 14 is a good mix of everything. The battery life isn't as horrible as other high-end laptops. It's good size. It has good power, especially for the size. And for the most part, I've had nothing but positive experiences with it. I would highly recommend it. I hope that by the next time I need another laptop that... I'm thinking probably the next time I need another laptop 2-3 years down the road, I might go another one of these. Because I went 11 the last time, went 14 this time. Maybe next time I'll go with 17. But yeah, so
or
I don't know, man.
Because that's the problem with me. Like the times I've done PC gaming is because I have my PC connected to my television by HDMI. I don't think I can enjoy a game on a 14-inch screen. Like I understand you're closer to it, but I like the ability to sit back, relax, have a big TV, use a controller. Which I mean, I guess it's just
so you're more of a living room gamer,
right?
Well,
okay.
no, that I can do that. Like I close my laptop, set it to video out.
Well, right, yeah, you could.
Plug
connect to your TV by HDMI, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
Don't you think it's crazy that with it being Microsoft, that you can't use the Xbox One controller with Windows yet?
I know why.
Could that have something
I know why.
Could that have something to do with them not wanting to play Titanfall with the Xbox One controller on the PC?
They want to make more money selling adapters.
Well, no,
that's what you had to do with the Xbox 360 controller.
Right,
was
but
that
there's no adapter for the Xbox
you can't,
One.
I mean, the wired Xbox 360 controller, I believe you can plug to a PC and it would work just fine. But if you had a wireless controller, you actually had to buy an adapter, probably because it used different radio frequencies. But
not even wired, it worked. It doesn't work.
No, wired it worked. I had a wired one. It worked.
And Xbox One.
No, Xbox 360. I'm sorry, 360.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
360.
The Xbox One controller.
I know, but with the 360, they could sell an accessory for $50 or whatever price they charge, and they could sell like. I had a friend who wanted to play Spelunky on PC, but he wanted to play with an Xbox 360 controller, and he had to go on eBay and buy an adapter.
Right. Okay. So if that's the case, why don't they have an adapter for the Xbox One controller?
So they can make more money.
Hey, Nick. Sometimes these companies just don't make sense. Why has Sony still locked us out of HDCP support?
Why does Sony not just release drivers to play my official drivers, so that way my PS3 controller can work on my PC? Because clearly I have a way of plugging my PS3 controller to the PC, but then I have to go on the internet and find third-party drivers to make.
I personally think it's because, especially with Titanfall coming out, they want those people to be like, oh, should I get on PC? Should I just get it on my PC or get Xbox One? They kind of want to push people over to get the Xbox One.
There you go.
Well, I can tell you right now, they didn't do that with me, because what I did is, if I want to play this on my TV, I will plug it in, and then I will use my custom PS4 drivers and use a PS4 controller, and I get the best of both worlds of playing it on my TV with a PS4 controller. Really, the only way that this is bad for me is no matter what, I have to boot up Origin. That's the only part of this I don't like.
I really don't understand. I don't know what the huge problem with Origin is, aside from the fact they don't do sales like everyone's. But to me, it's just another client on my computer.
Well,
which is exactly a little annoying because which is somewhat annoying for me, because it's the problem, the convenience of console gaming is you have like one account for pretty much almost everything. You have one account that you buy stuff with, and guess what? When you have third-party games, no big deal. You still use your single Xbox Live account. Whereas with the PC, let's just say Origin gets hacked, and you need to change your passwords. Oh man, that is like 4 or 5 different clients. If you use the same password across all of them, then that's 4 or 5 clients that you have to go through and remember, so you don't get hacked elsewhere, and change all those passwords. Like, it's just a hassle to have more clients. Like, that's kind of why I'm just like, no, there's a reason why I don't sign up for good old games, because I don't want more accounts piling up to remember. Anyways, yeah. To me, it's just another client. A little annoying, but yeah.
So before moving on to our next topic, do you guys think that because right now you can get Xbox Ones anywhere. Do you think with NPD for January, PlayStation 4 doubled the sales? Like Xbox One, yes, it outsold PlayStation 4 during December. People are like, well, that doesn't make sense. It does, because you couldn't find a PlayStation, and so you didn't have PlayStations on store during. Well, they barely had any in December. Whereas January, they had still near impossible to find, but they still had them. They had more available. So yes, they doubled the sales. Do you think that once Titanfall comes out, that it's going to be harder to get an Xbox One, or do you think it's because, well, if people really want an Xbox One for Titanfall, why don't they just go ahead and buy it now?
Basically, my response is that, okay, is Titanfall good enough to convince people to pay $550 for an Xbox One and an Xbox Live subscription?
Well, I'm sure most people already have an Xbox Live subscription, so I don't think the Xbox Live subscription will really play a factor.
I let it dry out because there was nothing for me left to do on Xbox 360.
Literally, the only reason I have it is so my mom can watch Netflix. That's it.
Why don't you just have like your PlayStation 3 hooked, or have like something else hooked up to it?
Because I actually use my PS3, PS4, and Wii U, and that only leaves one device left.
Gotcha.
The 360, and I was like, well, fuck it. It's worth the $8 a month for me not to have to constantly remove shit from room to room. You know?
Yeah. But cool. So that's that. Moving along, we've been talking a lot about graphics cards. So, NVIDIA has announced new graphics cards. I'm going to hand it over to our GPU guru, Anthony Ta.
I am not a GPU guru.
You are. Every time we're talking about GPUs, it's like...
Yeah, if I was a look, every tech forum on... GPUs, okay, now that you said that, every tech forum on the internet is going to say this guy's just uninformed. Because real tech gurus like freaking like benchmark software for a living. That's an actual tech guru.
Well, the thing is, like, Bronson knows like a lot about graphics cards. They had Anthony, and he goes like freaking gigahertz and megahertz. And
yeah, that's because I look up charts that other actual tech gurus have done and just read them.
This is what.
Anthony
this is what I do when buying a graphics card.
Anthony's new title on the website is GPU Sub Guru.
See, this is what I do when buying a graphics card. Who has played this? All right, what are the games that this can run on max setting at what frame rate? All right, now which of these are within my budget? Fantastic. All right, those are the ones I'm buying. In the case of the 765M. It's the only way I was going to get a laptop this size. Otherwise, like, if I did not give a shit about size, I probably would have gone with a 770. Not even going to lie there. But yeah, Anthony knows a lot about graphics cards. And Anthony and I will, if you want to hear lengthy discussions about graphics cards, listen to the PC Gaming Podcast, The Raid.
Yeah, well, we talk about, I mean, I wouldn't just limit it to PC gaming, just really, really, really geeky stuff in general.
We do not talk about anime on that show.
If we have somehow had a guess where we were talking about the 7.0 liter LS7 engine in the Chevrolet Corvette Z06, that would go on the raid. Just really nerding out, geeking.
So you're saying that this is what the show we put Alex on now?
I just kind of thought it's the show that we talk about really geeky stuff that average people have a hard time understanding. That's just how I've always understood it.
I have always wanted to start an anime podcast, but that would not fit the raid. Oh god.
Cool. So Anthony, what has NVIDIA announced?
Okay, so man, do I start with the big one or the small video card? Okay, let's start with the smaller news that people seem to not care about. So we all remember the GTX Titan, which was announced right about now, actually, from last year, and we just before the PS4, before.
And if you bought one, you were fucking retarded.
Yeah, and the GTX Titan was just. It made no sense to a lot of people, but I understand what NVIDIA was trying to do. They were trying to make the Bugatti Veyron of video cards. Because the Bugatti Veyron, for those who don't know, is the world's fastest production car. It was famous for being able to go 253 miles an hour. And then they had a super sport version, which I think goes 261 miles an hour. Fastest production car in the world. The thing was that it costed over $1 million. Okay, and that kind of gives any sensible person would think, why in the world would you spend well over $1 million just to buy a car that you can't even go 261 miles per hour on without, getting the biggest speeding ticket of your life or possibly crashing and dying instantly? Like, why would you want to buy it? But, for one thing, exclusivity, the rarity, and in the case of the
artists are all over it.
Yeah,
I woke up in my new Bugatti.
Like with Bugatti Veyron, it's not just like it could go fast, but it's like it's got the interior, it's got the looks, it's got the attention. Like it does what a supercar kind of does. It gets people's attention. It's fast and it's rare. Like you would buy that car for its significance, even though it costed 1.3 million. It makes no sense to everybody else. So I understand that NVIDIA was trying to do that, to build the fastest video card, even though it was at an exponentially, astronomically high price.
But if you bought two 680s and SLI, it could do the same thing.
Yeah, that's like the other thing too.
If not better.
But anyways, but in the car case, that sort of makes sense because it's going to be a collector's item. Whereas with the video card,
you just look like a dumb jackass.
I mean, I'm pretty sure the Commodore 64 is sort of a collector's item now. But computer parts in general don't really achieve collector status. Like with the video card, you can't really apply that because
they're really fucking old, like really old computers out.
Like the Commodore 64,
NVIDIA graphics card.
Like if you had a classic Macintosh or a Commodore 64 or like an Atari 2600, those things I can understand are collectibles. But it's not like in the case of cars where cars get exponentially expensive. In the computing world, there's very few computers that can ever do that. With the video card, it makes little sense because it's going to be outdated and outperformed, and there's not really anything that screams collectible about the Titan. Basically, it's like you buy this for bragging rights, and even that will only last you 6 months until the next video card came out. The Titan made no sense. It was a $1,000 video card that was slower than the cheaper 690. Yeah, so the 690 is basically, I believe, two 680 chips on the same board, but it costed like $700 or $800. I don't know, something like that. And the Titan was slower than that because the Titan's a single GPU, and it was insane. Not to mention, if you waited...
And then the 700 series came out, and Titan just looked exceedingly stupid.
And Titan seems really retarded at that point, because it was like, you knew the video card was going to be outperformed in 6 months, because that's just how computers work in general. And the 780 Ti came out, which gave you 90% of the Titan performance at 2/3 the cost. Like, wow. Just made Titan sold out at first, but then again, there wasn't much availability, so that's why it sold out pretty easily. And then it just plunged off the cliff, especially when the 780 came out, and then they just continued it. So now they just came out with a new version. It's called the Titan Black, and it is
once you go black, you never go back. Someone had to say it.
Oh dear, Bronson, you're going to hell now.
Been going there a long time.
Yeah. So I'm looking at a chart that NVIDIA has on their website on the relative performance of GTX Titan. It is a smudge faster than the original Titan.
That's retarded.
And how much is it?
It's $1,000 like the old Titan. It's just a little faster now. So now the 780 Ti is 85% of Titan Black at 2/3 the cost. Yeah. Yeah, from the chart that I'm seeing from NVIDIA. So why would you
just run two 780s in SLI?
I don't know.
For $200 more.
I have no idea.
Well, maybe if someone wants the very best, they run two Titan Blacks.
Even then, that's like $2,000, and it's gonna be like, what?
I mean, I guess the advantage to that is you wouldn't need to upgrade for like ever.
I mean, even if you decide to put in two Titan Blacks, you're gonna need like ridiculous amount of electricity to power these things.
You need like a 2,000 watt power supply.
I mean, the Titan Black, they say that you need at minimum a 600 watt. Okay. I love technical problems in the Gamer Access, don't you?
Domo Origato, Mr. Roboto, Domo.
Alright, so as I was saying, so the Titan Black needs, according to NVIDIA, at least a 600 watt power supply. Assuming that you pair this thing to a Celeron processor. It needs like one 8-pin power connector and a 6-pin power connector.
This is just retarded.
Yeah, like, does this even do SLI? Let me look.
Why would you, like, I know someone who runs 2 Titans, and I've called that person an idiot. So
that person's also got a lot of money to spend.
Yeah. I mean, in the car analogy, it makes a little bit of sense because you don't really buy these cars to drive them, you buy them as collectibles. Whereas with the video card, I don't get it. You have the fastest, but you're only like a little faster than a guy that got something that's almost as fast as yours at 2/3 the cost.
And if you run 2 and like really so a 780 Ti is $600?
A 780, I'd say $650.
Okay, so for $300 more, you can run 2 of those in SLI and smoke this thing.
You mean, but that was like $1,300?
Yeah, how much is a Titan?
Titan's $1,000.
Yeah, so there you go. Pay the extra $300. There you go.
Mean, I look at this chart, and from what I'm reading from NVIDIA's chart right now, a GTX 690 is still faster than a Titan Black. The 690, which has been out for a year, year and a half now, and the 690 is 280s on the same board, and you can.
And how much is the 690?
I believe it's like $700 or $800 or something.
Charts must be incorrect. That just wouldn't make sense for them to do that. Why would they charge more for a car that doesn't perform as well?
Oh, you know what? Never mind. I'm wrong. 690 is $1,000 or $1,100, but it's faster than Titan Black.
$1,100
for a 690. I just did a Google search quickly, and it says
you mean 1,100, right?
1,100.
Yeah.
Not 1,100
I can't
grand.
talk. Sorry,
I was about to say that's a new one.
1,100 grand. That's like $1.1 million.
Yeah, that graphics card better be able to last for the next fucking 100 years.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure a Titan Black uses less electricity than a 690 because it's only 1 GPU instead of 2. But if you're looking for outright performance for the same amount of money, or just a little bit more, you can get a 690 which is faster. And even then, why wouldn't you buy a 780 Ti?
My whole thing is like, what's the benefit of spending $1,000? Well, I guess if you're playing in like 4K and using multiple monitors. Because my whole thing is like, why would you spend that much when you could get like the next card you're going to talk about that'll run pretty much every game on max at this point, and just upgrade your graphics card every year or two and you'll be set. But I guess if you want to run freaking Battlefield 4 and 4K on 4 monitors.
Okay, so my card is the equivalent to a 650. Is what I've been like. Anthony and I have done our homework on this, and it's you said a 550 Ti, I believe is what you said.
Yeah, but I think a 650, not a 650 Ti, a 650.
Yeah, a 650, which I run everything on max or almost max at 1080p right now.
But
so
the problem
that's
here,
like a $200 card-ish.
Yeah, but the thing is that that's like asking, why does anybody buy a 780? Why do people buy a 770 or 760? Like, why would you just buy a 750 Ti because you know that the next video card is going to come out next year again? I mean, but yeah, future-proofing, that's it. But I just kind of feel like it's like those people who buy, why do you buy such expensive headsets when all you know is you get just 5% better quality than, headsets, that other headsets that are like $100
because
cheaper.
Why do people want the very best, even if they don't recognize the difference? They want the best.
I mean, well, I can tell you right now, I definitely noticed the difference between my Plantronics and my Astros.
Yeah, and here's the other thing too. It isn't just outright performance either, because I guess you're also paying for quality. I guess is a way of putting it, because car analogy again, like with a car, everyone loves to talk about this car called the Nissan GTR. It can be almost as fast as a Porsche 911 Turbo at half the cost.
The Nissan GTR is freaking sexy.
Yeah, see, everyone talks about the Nissan GTR because when it came out in 2009, I think, something like that. When the GTR came to America, it was possibly faster than the Porsche 911 at half the cost. And everyone is just flipping out about GTR. However, there were people that continues to say they would rather have a Porsche 911 Turbo. Why? Why would you have a car that is more expensive and at the end of the day you're still lost to a Japanese computer? You know, why? Well, quality. With the Nissan GTR, you probably don't want to drive it every day. As a track device, amazing, unbelievable. But it probably isn't the best thing to live with every day. It also doesn't have the prestige. It's not as cool. It's not something that you would show up to an expensive hotel in. You would.
Well, you're talking about the Nissan GTR that starts at like $90,000.
Well, back when it came out, it actually started at about $70,000, and a Porsche 911 Turbo was like $120,000. Like I'm talking about like sort of back in the day a bit more. Like today, the GTR is not so. Today, the GTR isn't really quite the.
I was about to say, have you seen the new Nissan GTR? Like, those things are freaking...
Those things were really expensive. Back in 2009, when it first came out, when it costed more like 75 or 80 or something like that, before it became near like six figures. Whew, man, that thing. Back when it was shocking people because it was so fast at a relatively low price. But, you know, you wouldn't want to drive a Nissan GTR every day because... You know, it doesn't have the prestige. It doesn't have a beautiful leather interior. It's just more like a tool to get big track numbers. And it's really good at doing that. But you wouldn't want to live with it every day, is probably why. So I feel like that's what NVIDIA is doing, is like saying you're not just paying for performance, you're also paying for quality. You're paying for a beautifully crafted piece of technology with an exquisitely made heatsink. But even then, I don't know, applying car logic to video cards is really hard. Because with a video card, the thing just kind of becomes disposable after like 6 months. All I can really understand is that this thing is sort of like a supercomputer that just happens to try and be a consumer graphics card. I don't know. It's really hard for me to understand the black.
Alright, so...
Yeah. Alright, what's the other card that was announced?
The other card is a bigger deal and it is much, much, much more exciting, in my opinion. So NVIDIA has also launched the 750 series. The regular 750 and the regular 750 Ti. Basically, this, even though it's part of the 700 series, the 750s feature NVIDIA's latest graphics architecture called Maxwell. The old ones, I believe, are called Kepler, the 600 series, and the higher 700 ranges. Those are based on Kepler. Maxwell is very important because its main huge goal is power consumption. So let me put it this way. My 550 Ti, which was the $150 mid-range card in 2011, needed a 6-pin power plug to power the thing. The 750 Ti is twice as fast and uses half the power.
Oh, it's what it cost.
At $150. It's twice as fast as my 550 Ti and uses half the power. It uses so little power. I know what
Anthony's next graphics card is.
It uses so little power that it doesn't need a 6-pin power connector. It can just run with just electricity from the motherboard.
So I know
I can't remember the last time a mid-range graphics card didn't need a pin I believe it was
like the last completely off the motherboard alone.
Just the motherboard alone, like
that's
graphics
crazy.
Graphics cards in like the last 6 or 7 years were focused so much on performance that they started being dual slot, and they started having these big cooling solutions. Like it was like outright performance, and then they started needing power connectors. Like the last time I can remember the last time I had a mid-range graphics card that didn't need pins was like a GeForce 9500 GT, and that was from 2008.
Because I have the 660 Ti in mine, and it runs off the power supply.
That thing, needs like an 8-pin. But this stuff is huge. Like everyone is just getting really excited about Maxwell right now because twice the performance of my 550 Ti, and it doesn't need a power pin to do it.
What's the performance of the new 750 Ti over, let's say, the 660 Ti?
Oh, let me actually have a chart. Let me look at NVIDIA's chart.
Well, I want to ask Anthony this question, because Anthony, you talked about upgrading your graphics card over the past couple months. Are you going to upgrade to a 750 Ti?
I might do more, though. I might go to a 760 or 770.
You should probably talk to Alex about buying one of his cards.
I thought about the idea. So it's about... Oh, man.
Yeah, see, Anthony,
so you're talking about a 660, right? Ti?
Yeah, 660 Ti.
See, Anthony...
It's like 20 or 30% slower than 660 Ti.
See, Anthony, you're friends with Alex and I, and since we're obsessed with upgrading, in my case, it's upgrading to slim versions of consoles and new headphones, and Alex, it's computer parts. You'll eventually end up with everything. It's just that you have to wait for the new version to come out for us to buy them.
Yeah, well, yeah. A 66 Ti is faster. Like the 750 Ti is like 20 or 30% slower, but it's like a kind of like a, at this point, a lower mid-range kind of product. But power consumption.
What are the 760? The 760 and 770 Ti. Those also use Maxwell, correct?
No, the only cards right now today that use Maxwell is only the 750 and 750 Ti. Gotcha. The 760s and above still use the older architecture because Maxwell had just happened, and this is why it's such a big deal. Like the key word: power consumption, power consumption, power consumption. Like it gets so much performance while using so little power. Like I said, it doesn't need a power plug from the power supply. It runs just off the motherboard, just the electricity from the motherboard. That's it, and that is blowing people's minds away. And
that is awesome.
And think about this. Now everyone's like saying, "Well, you save electricity, but I don't worry about my power bill because I save 50 watts, big deal. I just change a light bulb and I save electricity." But think about it. It uses less energy, which means that it's making less heat, which means it's also making less noise. So you have a quieter computer in the end. Also, big potential. Notebooks. Laptops. Think about it. One of the big problems about laptops is trying to put in a lot of power without melting the thing. Like Bronson's Alienware 14, they probably couldn't put anything better than a 765 or else it'll make too much heat and would need too big of a cooling solution and it wouldn't fit. With Maxwell, you get lower power consumption, which means less heat.
And to keep mine running cool, because this thing does run exceptionally cool. Like, it does not get hot like my M11 did. This thing, basically, the entire bottom of it is fans.
Yeah. So with Maxwell, you get better power consumption, which means you can put more performance into it. Like, for notebooks, this is amazing. In addition, because it makes less power consumption, you can probably game on the battery longer, too. This stuff is... Man, it's blowing my mind away just talking about it.
Maybe it'll be on the next MacBook, so Cray-T, wait for the MacBook refresh. Maybe they'll have Maxwell in it.
Yeah, and you know what? Apple's probably excited about this, too, because now they get to advertise an even more ridiculous battery life on their products.
Right.
On the MacBook Pros.
And then for people like me who buy performance laptops, like, this just makes it so, hey, do you want...
like, think about it. Faster, less heat... less noise. It's amazing. And you know what? I don't want to buy a 770 anymore. I'm going to wait until the 870 or 860 Ti comes out. Because I feel like, man, this is going to be so great for my computer. Because my computer only has a 500 watt power supply because I kind of made the small mistake of not putting extra power into it because I didn't think I needed it, but actually I do now. But big news. Now the 750 Ti, it's like a lower mid-range product nowadays. So you're not going to buy it for outright performance. You're not going to. It's not a flagship, but it shows ridiculous potential, and this is why it is. I mean, it's great stuff. I mean, basically the only concern I have about it so far is that this thing can completely crush AMD and just completely knock them out of the graphics game really hard. Because at this point, NVIDIA might get a little so far ahead that it's going to be almost impossible to catch up. But, you know.
Unless AMD has something up their sleeves.
They do. But AMD, I always kind of feel a little sorry for. Even though they kind of have a really retarded, really stupid marketing department that over-exaggerates everything. Okay, Bronson, I hope you're feeling better.
I'm dying. Sorry.
Yeah. I always kind of feel sorry for AMD because AMD's main competitors are NVIDIA and Intel. Intel on the CPU part, NVIDIA on the graphics card, obviously. The problem is that Intel and NVIDIA are so big and have so much money that they can just solve any competition problem by just pumping more money into the development teams, and then they're back ahead of the game again. And AMD is just kind of like in this cash-strapped situation trying to compete with both of these giants, and it's just...
Oh, they were smart to be put into both Xbox One and PlayStation 4.
And proceeded to watch their stocks crash down the roof somehow. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but that's not related to the consoles.
I know, it's not related to the consoles, but even then, AMD is just kind of a bit of in a desperate position, I kind of feel, but, you know. But anyways, back to NVIDIA. Yeah, the 750 Ti and 750, they show great promise. Basically, the only thing that my 550 Ti that can do better than the 750 Ti is that it has a wider memory bus. That's it. Everything else just kind of blows my graphics chip out of the water. Now, would I go from a 550 to a 750? I wouldn't. Because the key word that I said is twice the performance of the 550 Ti. And I currently game on a 1080p monitor. And I run my games at native resolution because I feel that games look sharpest that way because it's native. The problem is that to run Final Fantasy XIV on max settings at 1080p on my current graphics card is about 20 frames per second. So a 750 Ti is twice as fast. That means I'm getting only 40 frames per second on max settings. That's not really what I'm looking for. Like the next graphics card that I put in my computer, I would like it to achieve 60 frames at 1080p. So a 750 Ti is not going to cut it. An 860 could, and 870 really could, if it fits in my case. But, you know. But, anyways, I'm going to try and not repeat myself a billion times, so that's the NVIDIA graphics card news. Time Black, really retarded. 750 Ti, really great potential. Very exciting. Can't wait for the more powerful versions. All right.
Cool.
So,
did I mention $150? That's really good.
Hello? Hello?
I'm still here.
Okay,
but,
sorry.
Yeah,
I disconnected briefly.
Moving along, probably the biggest news this week is we finally have seen gameplay, or the public's seen, I've seen it for a while now, of the Order 1886. What do you guys think? I'm so glad it's finally out, because this is the thing. At first I was kind of like, just because it was a bit different than what I was expecting. I was expecting to be more of an adventure game, not a cover shooter. But then again, they only showed about a minute or 2 minutes worth of game. It's about 2 minutes, yeah, 2 minutes worth of gameplay. So we don't know. It might have just been an action-packed sequence or whatever. But what do you guys think? Because the game looks unbelievable. I saw the game in person. And the gameplay looks just as good as the CG trailer they showed.
I think the graphics engine Graphics engine looks great. Gameplay looks like a good third action adventure shooter type thing. I don't really know how to feel about it, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, as far as the gameplay front, we'll have to wait and see. I honestly, from what I've seen and kind of heard at the event, I think it's going to be delayed. It's supposed to release this year. I doubt it. I'm thinking spring 2015. But the game looks great, and they have. I like the setting of the game. I really like the setting because we haven't seen many games taken there. Ready at Dawn, they're a talented studio. They made God of War: Chains of Olympus and God of War. What was the other PSP game?
Ghost of Sparta.
Ghost of Sparta.
They also made some other game that I really liked.
Daxter on the PSP.
That game was fucking awesome. Yes. Daxter was so fucking good.
They did something else. I'm not remembering though.
Let me check.
But they're a talented team. So I think and they've been working on this game forever. You got to think about it. Like they haven't been. I mean, I think their last game they released was in 2010. I'm trying to remember. I think
it was 2011. It was the God of War Origins collection. Before that, it was God of War: Ghost of Sparta. Then they ported Okami to the Wii. Then before that, it was God of War: Chains of Olympus, and then before that, it was Daxter.
Yeah, so they've got a talented team. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. Like I said, I didn't get a chance to play it. They just showed a little bit of a demo, which it definitely caught my interest. But as far as gameplay, it's one of those games where like I'm really excited to learn more about it. We'll probably definitely see more at E3. That's about a given. Because like I said, they're saying it's coming out end of this year, but I personally think it's going to be delayed. And I think if they don't delay it, it's going to probably be buggy and there's going to be a lot of issues. And that just doesn't seem like the way of Sony. Like Sony rarely ever releases a game early when they shouldn't have. Like Infamous, they delayed. Gran Turismo, we all know how that is. Like Sony doesn't force games to be delivered early like Microsoft has in the past to meet a release date. So I think we're gonna see it spring 2015, but who knows? I may be wrong. What are your guys' thoughts?
I just graphically, it looks really pretty. I don't know how the gameplay is gonna go. I want to see more of that. Though I do not think it's the biggest news story of the week. We'll get to that in a minute, but I think it's gonna be a cool game. I've played that studio's other games. I really liked Daxter. I thought the first God of War portable game was okay. I thought the second one was really good. I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing how they get along on their first big console title.
So I just watched your commentary, Nick, on the Order 1886 video.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's very, very little gameplay that's out there right now, and somehow the movement of the camera and the way the game seems to play, it kind of makes me think more this is like the Gears 1886.
Well, yeah, that's what I first thought when I saw it. It kind of looks like slightly modified Gears.
Yeah, like the way the characters are moving, and especially the way the camera is moving, it has that woo, woo, woo kind of
the motion blur.
Has that kind of swaying motion to it that was very reminiscent of like kind of like the roadie run when you're doing in Gears, and I'm just like, that looks really similar, but that's all they showed, so there was very little of it, and I'm like, this looks like the Gears 1886, so it looks really good. I agree with that part. Gameplay, yeah, I'm gonna need to know more about it.
Yeah,
it's like Gears. It's like Gears of War with 19th century weapons.
That's kind of like everyone's opinion is like we need to see more gameplay, but visually it looks outstanding. Right
down to the animations remind me of it too. Just Bronson.
What?
I heard pounding on the keyboard.
Oh.
Okay. But even the animations look like it too. It's just kind of like the whole climbing over cover. Again, the camera sway, getting into cover, loading weapons, aiming, and it's just like, crap, I look like, it looks like I'm observing Gears 3 just with a different face. Gears 3 specifically.
Did it go, hell?
I didn't hear the audio, but considering that the dude in the video proceeds to choke another dude shortly after, probably yes.
Scratch one werewolf.
Yeah, actually, that seems like something they would say after just immediately choking a guy after falling through a roof. Yeah.
Something that really disappointed me, though, is they already said there's going to be no multiplayer, which that doesn't really bother me. But supposedly there's no co-op, and how this game's designed, it's like made perfect for co-op, which is really weird. But
I don't know. Like, I want to see how it runs before we say that. Like, because who knows?
But another thing that's interesting that I don't think any game has done, once again, I might be wrong, is rather than running in 16:9 like most games, it runs in 21:9 like films. And the reason why they said they did that is for a more cinematic feel. What do you guys think about that?
Gears of War, the cinematic 1886 experience. I believe Dragon's Dogma actually did that too, believe it or not. Dragon's Dogma didn't exactly run at 16:9 either. It kind of added a widescreen on top of your widescreen TV to also deliver that more cinematic experience. Are they doing this just for cutscenes, or are they also doing it with the game?
No, it's for gameplay.
Okay, if it was a cutscene, makes sense. I'm okay with it. The problem with doing it for gameplay is that it actually limits your field of vision, because you see less.
Well, it depends it depends what you consider less, because if you were to take that, if you would make it 16:9, you would see less vertical. I mean, you'd see less horizontal.
I know, but it's not like horizontal is being stretched any further like 16:10. Sorry, am I saying that wrong? It's not 16:10. I don't know. Like, if
you take that video and turn it to 16:9, you'd be cutting out a lot of video. Like, just imagine, like, take that video, then make it 16:9. You're cutting out a lot of the field of view. I personally think it's a...
Hang on, okay.
I mean, I personally need to play it to really know how I feel about it, but I personally feel it's great for a game. I think it'll be interesting to see how it is, to give it more of a cinematic feel. I think it'll be something that's great, because pretty much what they're wanting to do is deliver a cinematic experience. What they said when I was at the event is they don't want there to be any discrepancies or any differences between the cutscenes and the gameplay, or the cutscenes or the CG, which you find out they're not really CG because it's just gameplay. So it transitions smoothly. There's no breaking point. Like, even The Last of Us looked great, but you could see there through the cutscenes and the gameplay, and there was breaking points. Whereas with The Order, there's never any breaking points. It's all smooth. The cutscene transitions into the gameplay. There's no film effect or anything. It's just straight.
Okay. Can I please ask a question?
Go ahead.
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't get this straight. So, what you're describing, is it like kind of like a letterbox effect with black on top and black on bottom?
Well, yeah, that's what it is. Just like
okay, I wanted to make sure on that, so I'm not confused. Okay, Bronson.
Well, yeah, it's just like watching a Blu-ray movie.
Okay.
Except it's the game.
I look forward to seeing the final version of this before I really want to comment on it. Or at least seeing a demo at a PAX or an E3 or something.
Yeah. Okay, so, yes. I actually did play a game that did that before. Dragon's Dogma. Dragon's Dogma did that. I just don't know how to feel about that. Because in Dragon's Dogma, yes, when they did that, it kind of gave more of a cinematic effect. But when you're playing a game, it just seems a little annoying. Because it's like, basically what you're doing is that your TV is exactly the same 16:9 TV that you have. It's just that the game is just making it look more like film to give you the perception that you're seeing more side to side. Because your TV isn't getting any wider. It's still the same width. It's just they're giving you the perception to see more. So I don't know how it feels. To me, during gameplay, I kind of like to see more. Now, that being said, though, Dragon's Dogma is not... It's clearly not a cinematic type game. So maybe in the Order 1886 it will do a lot better. but
yeah, it's really early. We'll have to see.
Yeah, like we don't know much about order.
It interests me. It leaves a mystery there that I really want to see more about.
Also, I feel like it is very important that if they wanted that no breaking point, there literally has to be 0 delay.
Oh, there's seriously no delay. It's really incredible.
Because I've seen a lot of games where when they transition from gameplay to an in-engine cutscene, there's like that brief stutter for it to think, okay, let me think how to get this cutscene going. And you notice that brief pause, then it transitions into the in-game cutscene.
Right, but that's the thing. That's been the focus. They said, and like I said, I've only seen a 2-3 minute demo, but according to them, that's been their main focus, is making it seamless to where there's absolutely no breaking point whatsoever.
Okay. Going to be quite the challenge. But then again, PS4 is a powerful system, so...
The next news story we have is, in my opinion, the world's greatest... Like, they basically turned 100,000 people into lab rats for a social experiment, and it's fantastic. This is the best video game news I've heard of in a long time. So what it is this fine fellow at Twitch decided to set up a Pokemon game where you type in the chat, and that's what happens on screen. So if someone says up, he goes up. Someone says left, he goes left. Someone types in start, press start.
Actually, it's a tally over all the comments. You're talking about...
either or. Anarchy is every single one. Democracy, it's a tally.
What?
There's 2 different modes. Oh, yeah. I love this. There's 2 different modes, and people vote on which mode it is in. By the way, I'm watching the stream right now. Currently, it's in Anarchy mode, which is where, in Anarchy mode, every single command happens. So if I type start in the chat right now, it'll take a minute because, 90,000 other people are watching this right now, but it'll press pause. So I want you to imagine a game of Pokemon where 90,000 people are controlling it at the same time.
Yeah, basically it's just kind of like just everyone is gonna like either coordinate, or, this being the internet, just mess it over. And it's like, holy crap. And I'm surprised they even made it as far as they did.
They are, last I checked, they are in the Lavender Town Tower.
Yeah, like, some crazy things I've heard. They released Charmander.
Well, I want to know, though, is how that works, though, because you have so many people typing at once. How do you... Like, this person tells you to go left, this person tells you to go up. It's like, how do you choose?
Okay, so Anarchy mode, I think from what Bros describes, is it just takes a command and executes it right away, regardless of who says it. It just does immediately. The other one is Democracy mode, which is the one I heard from another friend of mine. Basically, is that it takes a tally. Like, say, I don't know how often it takes a tally and executes it, but it takes a tally of the most common commands. So if, like, say, 70% of people say up, it will execute up.
However, so somehow this guy, it's automatically processing all this information off Twitch.
You'd be amazed the types of things the types of programs a person can write.
Well,
he has like some algorithm that does all of this, and it works. And I don't know how he tested this stuff, but wow.
This is like Aaron posted this on Facebook earlier today. He posted a link to it. Let me pull his quote here. I don't care what anyone says. Space War, Pong, Space Invaders, the boom of arcades, the rise of Nintendo, Mario, Zelda, PlayStation, Final Fantasy, Call of Duty, Minecraft, PC, Halo, Game Boy. Screw all that. What's happening over here is the greatest, worst, most tragic, most hilarious, most beautiful moment in video game history.
It's just...
I don't know how long this is going, but they're 7 days, 6 hours in, and I believe they have 4 badges.
Yeah, like... Oh, man. You'll be amazed at things that people can do with a computer.
Their current team is Drowsy... First off, Jesus Bird is the name of their best party member. It's a Pidgeot at level 47. Or at least that's what I read.
Pidgeot?
Yeah, Pidgeot.
Yeah.
You would think for something like that, though, for someone to write something like that, they'd have to have access to like a Twitter API or something.
Or they just, something like that, I guess. Like, they obviously need some way to read the thousands of comments that are sent in every minute.
I wonder if Twitch is like in on this somehow.
I'm wondering, probably, but I don't even know how he tested the thing. Because whenever you write computer programs, you clearly want them to work, so you have to go through debugging and testing, all that kind of stuff. I wonder how he tested this thing so it actually works right now.
Well, I feel the Twitch API probably told like 10 or 20 of his friends to do it.
I know, but 20 friends is not thousands of people sending in instructions every minute. That's
the thing that's crazy is if you have like 90,000 people on there, he's probably getting thousands of commands every minute.
And I also will agree with Bronson that this is probably the biggest news story in gaming at the moment, because normally when gaming things happen, only like maybe one or two people I could see talk about it in the real world. This thing has happened for about a week now, and almost everyone that I've talked to who is into gaming has brought it up.
I have a friend up at TMCC taking a class called Art in Video Games, and for the class, they watched the live stream of this. This is fantastic. And people are arguing over should they use Ratatat or should they use Drowsy, or they call Ratatat Dig Rat.
Actually, what I'm most looking forward to is when they get to the Elite Four and fail constantly and they have to go grind.
Oh, they're just going to grind the Elite Four over and over again.
No, like you don't gain experience if you keep failing at the first one, so you have to go level up. So imagine a committee of 70,000 internet people trying to figure out how to solve that problem. Because a Pidgeot's not going to win the Elite Four. I mean, maybe it will if it does the Bronson approach of sending a level 100 Pidgeot that's going to demolish everything. That's probably unlikely.
I mean, so... Oh, man. So this is from the Twitter feed that is watching all this. We have Psychic trying to teach it to Drowsy, also talks of going to the fighting dojo and getting Hitmonlee. But then, like, there's so much on Twitter about this, like, oh my god, why am I screaming at my screen for this fucking Pokemon to learn Psychic? I was like, oh hey, we almost tossed away TM29. Oh, here we go. Great battle. Pidgeot can't hit Ghastly, who can't hit him back. They also mentioned Ghastly is paralyzed, so he keeps being prevented from attacking. And finally, all dead again. Ghastly sucks. Just
great stories. I also heard they released Charmander.
Yeah, Charmeleon. But yes, Charmeleon. They released Charmeleon.
They released the Star Pokemon. I'm just like, what?
Yeah, Twitch has to be in on this because they have to have. There has to be something.
I'm pretty sure he's very knowledgeable. I know that much because if you can certainly write a computer program that can read all the comments, parse them, check for the most common command, and then execute it reliably, he must be very knowledgeable about programs. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's the other thing. It's like, how is he? There has to be something because he's like, it has to call something. It's having to use an API from Twitch, who's then calling the demand, pulling it in, and then putting it into the game. That's crazy. What the?
Yeah, you'll be amazed at how computer programs work. I mean, you think about
the really crazy shit about this is like they beat Lieutenant Surge's gym in 2 tries, but getting down a fucking hallway takes an entire day.
That's because shouting attacks is a lot easier than shouting directions through a maze.
But no, Lieutenant Surge's gym, like, you have to flip certain switches in a certain order.
Yeah! Like, that is a lot better than Team Rocket's maze. Because Lieutenant Surge's gym is not a colossal underground passage. Or whatever Team Rocket's hideout is. But
also,
yeah.
they called it Rattata, and they named it Dig the Rat. And there's been a giant argument between Dig the Rat and Drowsy. Dig the Rat is not only going to be more effective versus Ghost in the Tower, it'll be more useful later in the game. Even if we level Drowsy, there's no guarantee that I'll learn any new moves based on our history. Dig Rat already has a good moveset with better coverage, better speed, and higher attack. Hashtag Dig the Rat 2014.
So it's politics now.
Apparently. And they compare Drowsy and Rattata. Evolves at level 20, evolves at level 26. Already knows 3 moves, 80 plus base power. Best move is Confusion, 50 base power. Already knows 2 moves that hit ghosts, only knows 1. All 4 moves are damage dealing, only has 2 damage dealing moves. Raticate equals fast. Hypno equals slow as shit. Dig is sick, good versus fire, electric, ghost, poison, and rock. Only has advantage versus fighting. Both of them are unaffected by ghosts. Dig the Rat.
Wow.
This is the best. This is a fucking giant social experiment, and I love it. I love every minute of this. I mean, I check on the stream throughout my day, and they spent 2 days in Team Rocket's fucking casino tower and died on Giovanni a bunch. Today they've been stuck in Lavender Town. Looking forward to there's I cannot wait till they get in another cave. That's gonna be great.
Another cave.
This has been by far this is by far my favorite news story that's come out of video games in a long time. It is just so fucking crazy. Oh god. Yeah. So Anthony, how long do you think till they finish the game?
2 months.
2 months.
Well, the thing that I'm concerned about right now is navigating Victory Road.
Yeah.
Basically, towards the end of the game is where the problems start, and also you also have the problem of when they get to Cinnabar Island or the I forgot what that archipelago is called. Those little islands. I feel so are they gonna try and break the game by going after missing number or something like that? Missing no.
Missing go. Yeah.
Yeah, missing no. Are they gonna try and break the game doing that? Because I don't know. Is it this thing is probably running off an emulator, but even then, it's gonna be one of those. Are they gonna crash the save file and so everyone has to start over?
Dude,
missing no. It's original red, right?
Original red, yep.
Okay, so missing no is going to be in there, so I'm going to be wondering if once they get that far, are the instructions going to be sabotage the save file?
I don't think so. I don't think there are enough people coordinating for that.
You never know. You never know. They got Charmander, they got Charmeleon to be released, so yeah.
That'd be funny.
They got Charmeleon to be released, so I'm pretty sure they can go after missing no.
I'm watching when Giovanni was defeated for the first time, and just the first minute of this video is just Red running in the corner in circles.
So towards the end of the game is gonna have problems because first off, you're gonna have to surf on oceans, which is gonna suck. Yeah, and then you have Victory Road, which is gonna be a complete nightmare or entertaining, depending on how you look at it. And then there's the Elite Four, because you think about it, unless the Bronson approach works, which is level Pokemon up to ridiculously high levels and then one-shot everything.
Which in Pokemon Red, it totally does.
Yeah, then in that case, then if that happens with the Pidgeot that they have, okay. Yeah. I'm pretty sure they'll finish in about a month. If they fail miserably at the Elite Four and constantly, I need to not use the word wipe here. Constantly fail. I was gonna say if they constantly wipe at the Elite, no. If they constantly fail at the Elite Four and have to go out and get new Pokemon or level up some more. Or rearrange the team, and then I'm gonna say 2 months.
So, currently their current team is Drowsy, Pidgeot, Rattata, Oddish, Flareon, and I don't know the last one. So, oh, by the way, they threw away the Nugget. You know, the thing that's worth $1 million.
See, what makes you think that they? I feel like they will go after Missing No, because if they can throw away Nuggets and throw away Charmeleon and have Flareon be a replacement, then I think that there's a problem.
The last one from their team, Farfetch'd, who's named Dux, D-U-X.
This sounds pretty awesome. I need to watch it one day.
Dude, it has been fantastic. Like, it has been far and away just so many, and like I'm in the giant bomb forums right now reading about it. Is like single Ghastly has been our nemesis. Yeah. Oh god. Let's see. Reading more through the forums right now.
This guy really wanted to. He could probably make a ton of money if he started like setting these up for all these games. Probably make a ton of money doing this.
So, I posted this on I posted a link to this Twitch feed on my Facebook. I'm like, it's like that whole million monkeys on a million typewriters thing. And then my friend Austin responds is like, yeah, but instead of writing Hamlet, they beat the Elite Four. Oh god. Then someone responds by posting a GIF of The Simpsons of a million monkeys on a million typewriters, all pressing A, left, anarchy, start 9. Just oh my god. Such just ridiculousness. Oh man. Oh, also they released Hitmonlee and Zubat apparently. So there you go.
Wow.
Hitmonlee is released.
Whoa.
Hell yes, whoa. I can't do that.
Oh yeah, actually that's a bad idea because your voice is gone.
Yeah, like I am barely doing this podcast right now. Oh man, this is, like I said, this is superb. Also this is like a psychology student's dream. So
that is a good idea, yes. Actually, speaking of research and all that kind of stuff, so there's this thing that people actually studied for like psychological reasons. Is back in World of Warcraft, there was a bug in the game where this disease that was supposed to be contained in a dungeon was not that it could get out. So you would have people, you would just have characters just dropping dead on the streets everywhere. I mean, if you were a high enough level, you didn't have to worry about this, but not everyone was. So you had like bodies everywhere, and I believe this one research group actually studied it as a case of how people react when an epidemic breaks out, kind of stuff. Yeah, so, I read that on Wikipedia, so I'm not going to trust it entirely.
So yet, I was there for this, so I can tell you. I can tell you what happened with that. And that is, it was this dungeon that it would, when you left the dungeon, if you were a player, it was fine. But it would get out on Warlock and Hunter pets. And then it would bounce to people, and then it would bounce from people to, other people, and then it would kill most of the town unless you were like level 55 or higher. And then you could, and then you might be lucky enough to heal yourself or cleanse yourself. And yeah, like basically it just killed. Fuck it. Like if you were a low level and you were town, like you just died instantly.
Yeah. So
it was hilarious, but
yeah, it was pretty funny. I mean, that probably wasn't the best case of research of how people respond to diseases apocalypse, because to be honest, everyone was just thinking it's a game bug, they need to fix it, I'm just gonna respawn here because I have 6 billion lives and can't truly die.
What I did when leveling alts during that is I would basically go what you would do in the real apocalypse and live in the middle of nowhere. I was like, oh, okay.
The plague lands, right? Because certainly you can't contract the plague.
That was actually a really good place to go because everyone fucking hated questing there back in the day. So that would have actually been a really good place to go.
Yeah, but we're not going to talk too much about MMOs. But yeah, diseases that just kind of spread. How did we get on that?
I cannot believe this person has 5 badges. This is just crazy to me.
Man, sometimes it can be amazing when the internet works together. Great things can be accomplished.
They've been playing this for 7 days, 6 hours, 29 minutes.
Hey, look, in 7 days, I know it's like 7 days around the clock, but even in 7 days, I normally don't get to the 5th gym of any Pokemon game. Now, I'm not playing it for 7 days straight, but still, that's like... that was really fast progress. Very impressive. Congratulations, Internet. You have done well so far.
Their god Pidgeot is just kicking butt. I don't know. As long as we're talking about Pokemon games real quick, I think Nintendo should absolutely capitalize on this and put Red and Blue out in the eShop for 3DS. Just be like, hey, you guys have been watching that Twitch stream, right? Right? Here you go. Oh, God. Am I the only one who thinks that's a good idea? No?
That would be smart.
Yeah. It's not hard to emulate fucking Pokemon. I mean, dear God. Pokemon...
I just kind of feel like they're just holding it hostage because it's kind of like almost like a Final Fantasy... Well, actually, in Final Fantasy VII, at least they put it on PlayStation Classics.
Yeah, and PC.
And PC. You would be stupid to get the PC version.
You would, but
it has worse music. It has worse quality music. But anyways, yes. It is on PC and it has been on PS Classics for a long time now. And PSP.
So Nintendo, if you're smart, this live stream is probably going to be going on for another 15 days. I'd take a guess. 15 days to a month is what I bet until they finish it. So, throw that out the eShop. Make a big announcement about it. It's like, hey, Red and Blue are here on the 3DS eShop. Buy them, please. And I totally will, because I love those games. I played a lot of excellent...
the thing is, they won't do anything. I know they won't, because Nintendo lives in their own little world and doesn't understand how gaming culture works.
Yeah.
Nintendo just... Yeah, they don't understand how they don't really understand how gaming culture works. And I feel like in this case, they're just going to ignore it. And what you said will not happen.
I know, that's a shame.
I can guarantee that.
Because Pokemon X and Y is an amazing game. It's, like I said, it's the first time since Pokemon Silver that I got really hardcore to a Pokemon game. I
could see why you're really hardcore into it. You can apply the Bronson tactic to it really easily. Really easily.
Well, not only that, but it's like the 3D world sucked me back in. I felt that feeling of adventure that I felt the first time I played Pokemon. And also I caught all the legendaries. I got Zygarde, Xerneas, Mewtwo, and Zapdos. So I used 3 of those on my team. And then you have Blaziken and Gengar, who are beast as hell. So my team is just ultimate destruction.
Pokemon X and Y were actually kind of easy, weren't they?
They were. I
remember Diamond and Pearl was freaking really hard.
Oh God, Ruby was a bitch.
Ruby and Sapphire were hard too.
Ruby was a scarlet bitch. I remember the Elite Four and Ruby took me fucking forever.
Yeah.
That
was when you realized that the team were really trying to piss you off because they're trying to come up with new type combinations that were hard to defeat. So it was like
silver and gold and red.
You know, they need to reintroduce the ability to rebattle trainers and not just the Elite Four, because that added a lot of replayability to Sapphire.
So in X and Y, they have this battle area where you just do endless battles. You just can't use legendaries in them.
Do your Pokemon get an EXP from them?
Yes.
Ooh, sweet.
Yeah, it's the special island you go to after you beat the main game.
Yeah, after I beat the main game, I just stopped playing completely because I realized I really don't care about Pokemon anymore.
Dude, I like
it. I like it, but after finishing the Elite Four, that's when I click it off and it's like, yep, it's good.
I want that game to have DLC. I swept people at the PlayStation launch because this guy, like, he chose Y, so his legendary was a dragon. His other legendary is a dragon. He didn't have Mewtwo in his party. He had this other dragon. And I open up all my fights with Xerneas because he's the fastest Pokemon in my party. So it's just like Geomancy. Okay, Moonblast dead, Moonblast dead, Moonblast dead. It's like, and then like, it usually takes like 5 members of his party to finally take out Xerneas. And then it's like, well, okay, you have 1 Pokemon left. Go, Blaziken. Finish him off. Yeah. In Pokemon X, did you try going after the legendary birds at all?
Nope. Like I said, I just stopped playing the game pretty much completely the moment I beat the Elite Four.
See, for me, like I said, for me, this was the first, I skipped Diamond and Pearl, I played Black and White till the 3rd gym and said, fuck this, and I skipped Black and White too. So I was, and even Ruby and Sapphire, I didn't get super hardcore into. I did what you did, where it's like, okay, Elite Four done. So the last Pokemon game I played, got into, I played over a fucking decade ago.
I mean, S and Y is definitely very good. Like, it was quite a lot of fun, and it was
Aaron soothsayed us and put it into the top 10.
Yeah,
like, oh man, and Pokemon's that good. And I'm like,
yeah,
and I'm like, you're like, and I knew it was good because my coworkers and I played it every day during lunch, and Alex and I are an even matchup, even though his fairy team is just total horseshit. He has a team of all fairies and then Snorlax.
That's pretty interesting.
I call it Team Pretty Fat.
But yeah, like Pokemon X and Y, it's just I lost my thought on it. But the older Pokemon games, it's always a case of it was the same Pokemon game that you knew since Ruby Sapphire, because Ruby Sapphire was the last time they did anything significant, which was adding abilities and double battles. And since then, Pokemon games were basically Pokemon games with better connectivity and better looks. Like, Diamond and Pearl really did that. It was basically the same Pokemon game. It just happens to run on a DS, and you can sort of go on the internet for a one-on-one battle, but it was so primitive that it was like, you want to battle someone online? Hop on into a Pokemon forum and friend code! Yay!
So stupid.
Like, that was 2000. Well, to be honest, the DS didn't have Xbox Live features, and I don't think it was even capable.
No, I played Mario Kart Online on the DS. It's fucking horrible.
Yeah, but let's see. Yeah, so you have that, and Black and White was definitely like that too. I mean, they put a much bigger effort into Black and White, but even then, it was still the same Pokemon game that you knew, just with a lot of visual pizzazz. A lot of really cool visual pizzazz, but that doesn't hide the fact the gameplay still feels fundamentally the same. Whereas in X and Y, it's like, okay, so we know that we can't change bulletproof gameplay very well because the battle mechanics are that bulletproof. You can't change anything. But what we can do is change lots and lots and lots of little things, like rollerblading instead of biking. And you can run and that kind of stuff, whatever. It just makes it easier and more enjoyable. Yeah, that's good. That's very good. Oh, and the online connectivity is amazing. And they also put Street Pass, which I don't even know how you. I don't even know how you use Street Pass on that thing. It just says you get some Pokémiles and that's it.
Yeah, those Pokémiles are used for rad shit. No, God, just evil. It's evil. Also, anyone who out there who has a Bulbasaur, I have 2 Charmanders. I'm looking for a Squirtle and a Bulbasaur. I have 2 Charmanders. Or I can breed you a Fennekin, or I can breed you a Chespin. Give me a heads up, and I will do that for you. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I love me some Pokemon. Hey Nick, you should play Pokemon X with us.
I played Pokemon back in elementary school on Game Boy, but that was the last time I've ever played it.
That was the last time I played it as seriously as I played this. Like I said, man, that 3D overhaul does so much to make it feel fresh. Just no kidding. Anyway, do we have any other news that we want to talk about?
Not really news, but has anyone played, have you guys played Strider? Have you checked it out?
Yeah, I played, so did anyone here play the Genesis or Nintendo version of that game?
I played
I really liked the Genesis version. Wasn't super big on the NES version. I played the demo for this. I thought it was cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Like I wasn't like super crazy into it, but yeah, it was solid.
I thought that was pretty fun too. Cool.
I know the Final Fantasy. Anthony is finally going to get to have me try Final Fantasy 14 this weekend when they put out the PS4 beta.
I mean, freaking, they launched it on Steam recently at half off.
How much does that make it like $20?
$15. I mean, I thought you said that you were going to try FF14. I thought that meant that you bought the Steam version because it had just happened to come out on the day that you sent me that text.
No,
or the day after.
It means I'm going to try the PS4 version, even though I realize it'd be better to play that game on PC. But
okay, well then now you can't complain of, oh man, I can't use my abilities or target that well. Well, you're probably not playing on the system that suits you then.
Okay, well, I am sure that will not be the only thing
I mean, you think about it. If you're in the PS4 beta, you get to raid in bed. Think about that.
Yeah, that
sounds pretty darn cool.
That does. All right, so what's your opinion on Strider? I thought you were the one who brought it up, so. Nick, hello.
Sorry. My opinion is definitely fun. I actually really like it, so I just wanted to get your guys' opinion on it if you guys played it. I think it's really cool, though.
I think everyone should go check out the Genesis version of Strider. They'd probably like it. Yeah, I don't know. I like that they do a lot of those classic reimaginings. That's always a good thing to see.
Right.
Oh man. All right, so we on to questions?
Yes.
Comments and question. Alex says, "What's up with that complaining bee at the end? If she isn't passionate, you guys need to tell her to kick rocks. Fucking annoying." First off, don't be disrespectful to our staff. We don't disrespect any of our listeners or viewers, and we would expect the same out of you. Second off, Kyrie is 3 hours ahead of us. All of us live in the West Coast time zone. And these podcasts start at around 9 at night and go until 11 or 12. So for her, that means they start at around 12 and go to 3 in the morning. In that case, it was around 2 in the morning. Some people respond to lack of sleep differently. Anthony and Kyrie happen to be the type that need sleep. Nick and I are the type that could go for weeks on end without sleeping. So, it's just depends on who you are. But yeah, no, Kyrie's incredibly passionate. She spent a long time working on that video. She does what the hell. Anything we assign her, she gets done by the due date. So yeah, respect our staff. She was tired. I don't blame her. She goes to college. She has a job. She works on this. Yeah.
I thought that what Kyrie was saying, sure, it may be annoying, but I feel that it is an honest complaint. Okay? It was really late at night. We don't have exactly the luxury of planning our meetings on a convenient Saturday at 3 p.m. We don't exactly have that because we try to fit this into everyone's schedules, and it just so happens that, this particular day at this particular time at night is how we get the most, is how it is, the best day for all of us. It works for Nick, it works for Bronson, it works for me, and, Kyrie tries to make it. And for her, it was really late at night. I would have complained too and asked, is it over yet? Okay. Not saying that to be rude to everyone on the staff. I would just say, how close are we to finish? I'm really sleepy.
Yeah. And
to be honest, it wasn't like that's all that was ever being talked about for, sentence after sentence after sentence.
Yeah, so
honestly, though, I don't think it's that big of a deal. Okay? Because I sat through it.
Not really, no.
Alright. Cray T says, Anthony wants to be snowballed, eh? Ha 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 ha. Laughing my fucking ass off.
Oh, man, I can't believe I have to respond to this. So...
Anthony forgot to watch Clerks.
Did you... No, I watched Clerks. I just don't remember that joke, or I didn't understand it to remember it. So, Nick, do you know what happened?
I don't.
Okay, so Bronson said something about snowballed.
Yep.
And I interpreted it in my brain as, the snowballing effect in video games. Yeah, I see that in League of Legends. And then I proceed to say, I love snowballing. And
is funny.
Bronson started laughing hysterically. And I just thought it just like, and I asked him, I said something terribly wrong, didn't I? And Bronson said, yes. And I'm just like, oh. Well, I thought you meant this. Bronson knew what I was talking about. The snowballing effect in League of Legends, where there are some characters where if they get kills, they start snowballing and get really powerful at the end. Well, I didn't realize what snowballing in the context of what Bronson was laughing about. So, a few days later, after reading Cray T's comment, I'm just like, you know what? I need to look this up. So I went to UrbanDictionary.com and typed in snowballing. Wow, that's nasty. Really, really nasty.
That's funny. Oh.
In my defense, I don't hang out with perverted people. So that's why I have never heard of this before.
That's a lie. You hang out with me and I'm horribly perverted.
Yeah, but you don't talk to me about sex and all these crazy things that people do during nights, okay?
I can start talking to you about that stuff.
And I prefer you don't.
Yeah.
But for you guys, for you, Cray T, and for all you listeners, so you get to enjoy the awkward moment that I have found out. And now I'm just like that. Oh, wow. That is just nasty. Okay. So, yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, that's yeah, there you go. Okay.
The snowball effect.
I was thinking of the analogy of a snowball rolling down a hill and how it gets bigger, but what I didn't realize was how I inadvertently wasn't paying attention to what Bronson was saying, and yeah, wow, crap, why? Oh. I mean, it makes for some really great comedy for the site for a very long time.
That's a t-shirt for Anthony, like a drawing of Anthony. I love snowballing.
Man, is that really PG appropriate? Because I don't want to wear that kind of shirt to Game Expo.
I want, people that are listening to this, please respond to Nick's email. Respond however you want to respond. If we get 100 people who would be willing to buy that shirt for a reasonable price, so $20 or less, We'll get it made. We'll get Bremen to draw Anime Anthony. It'll be Anime Anthony with a thumbs up. Give a thumbs up, and they'll say, "I love snowballing."
You know,
I can't. So funny.
I don't know whether to go with the joke or feel really ashamed of the day that I'm forced to wear that shirt in public.
I mean, so the other T-shirt that we will have, we talked about before this, it'll be Kyrie, just anime Kyrie eating a giant cheeseburger, and it'll say the cheeseburger effect.
I mean, if it, oh man, like any child that's 12-year-olds or younger that's still in 6th grade or like in elementary school and below, they're gonna read "I love snowballing" and think, what does that mean? Does he like to roll down a hill? But I'm pretty sure any middle schooler or older, because middle school is when everyone starts getting perverted for some reason and starts swearing and talks about sex a lot. Okay, then they're gonna like realize this, and it's like, what's this Asian dude doing wearing a white polo shirt that says "I love snowballing"?
No, that has to be a T-shirt. It's gonna be a black T-shirt.
With,
black T-shirt, Anime Anthony giving a thumbs up, and big pink bold letters. I love snowballing.
No, white letters, not pink.
Oh yes,
like white letters is easier to read too, actually.
And pink on the back,
pink just doesn't work.
And on the back, it'll say "Trust no bitch."
No, that is not no. No. I wouldn't say bitch on the back of the shirt.
We need to make this into like just the most classless T-shirt possible, like one of those ones you would buy. For
a person who likes to be classy like me ends up wearing a totally classless T-shirt that could get me shot.
So have you guys ever been to? Have you guys ever been to Mexico?
I have.
No. Okay, well, have you ever been to like border towns or border towns by the beach?
Not yet. No.
Okay, well, they have all these like T-shirt shops that sell like "Trust no bitch, no fat chicks," shit like that. They're all like XXX, and they're all like big black letters, and like we need to make it like that style. So we'll all of them will be oversized. So like our XL will be slightly bigger than XL, so on and so forth. And they will all picture me Anthony on the front, give it a thumbs up, and I'll say "I love snowballing" in big bold letters, and they'll look super cheap.
I don't know.
It'll be like one of those stores you buy on the Mexican border for like $3.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so funny.
No. You know, speaking of awesome T-shirt ideas, so we got 2 T-shirt ideas there. I just will refuse to wear it.
I think a picture of Anthony with his thumb up saying "I love snowballing" would be good.
Yeah, that'd be fine. It has to be a black shirt.
On the black shirt, have a picture of a snowball.
I am very concerned now that you have checked this idea out there. Someone's gonna put my picture through a meme generator. and put the words on it. And now that I have said that on this podcast, I'm pretty sure someone is going to for certain do that.
I am gonna go talk to Bremen tomorrow about getting the artwork for this done. Hey Nick, do you know someone that could get like 100 black T-shirts and put a design on them?
I do. It's expensive.
Let's
though.
not push this idea forward. Really.
All right. You know what? We're gonna get like. How about? So I imagine it's cheaper if you buy in bulk. So we see how much interest we can get, and what we're gonna do is, I'll say if we get 100 people to respond to this total, on the comments, Nick's email, my email, my PSN, Anthony's email, 100 people total, we'll get 100 shirts made, and we'll start selling them. All right. So it's on you. Please make my dream come true. Please.
I'm just not okay with this in general. It's just gonna be like one of those things. I go to PAX and then someone wears that T-shirt and comes up to me, and I'm just gonna don't know whether I should feel. I don't know whether to laugh. I don't know if I should be like, oh wow. I don't know whether to laugh or to feel really, really.
Yeah,
really
that con
awkward.
we may be going to in Atlanta. Sell them there.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna be like, I just don't know. I'm just gonna put me in this really awkward position. If I'm honest, but.
Oh my gosh, Anthony! You become the next next online superstar known as the Snowball Guy. That's something awesome to put on your resume.
No, that is not awesome to put on a resume because I show up to a computer.
King.
I am.
Wait, what'd you say, Bronson?
No, I am the Snowball King.
That could be Anthony. Anthony could have his own unique shirt numbered one out of 1. I'm the Snowball King.
There we go. When he gets a girlfriend, when he gets a girlfriend, I am the Snowball Queen will be her shirt.
Oh my gosh.
See, in that world, I would already have committed suicide and just can't deal with it anymore. Okay?
Well, see, Anthony, the one good thing about this is you are going to have a lot of people talking to you, and you are going to get through that social anxiety.
90% of which will be porn stars, okay? And I am not going to deal with that.
Anthony, I think you will get through your social anxiety introvertness problem real quick if we make this happen.
Great, but I'm not going to do it when 90% of them are porn stars thinking I actually like snowballing.
Well, it probably won't be that. It'll probably be just random people who think this is funny. But I'm saying,
or that I'm perverted, which I'm not.
Well, if we play the original audio clip.
I mean, this is funny, but it can go wrong in so many ways.
We should play the original audio clip at Game Expo. There you go. Start selling the shirts there.
That's not PG. That's not PG appropriate.
Please do it. Save it on like an audio recorder or something. You guys have to bring this up at the expo.
So we are labeled as PG-13, and I've done the okay. So. In fact, I'm going to try and get us okay for maybe a little bit more. So...
Yeah, ask them about it. If you can, you guys have to talk about this during the panel.
So, like I was saying, if we get 100 people total to Nick's inbox, comments, my inbox, Anthony's inbox, we will make that t-shirt a reality and sell it. And I will give out a couple at Game Expo. Okay? Alright. So it's up to you people.
And since Anthony will be there, he'll be doing autographs.
Yeah,
he'll be signing the shirts.
So if Anthony, between the marriage proposal and the t-shirts, you're gonna be pretty popular at Game Expo.
Yeah, but that's not how I envisioned how I would get popular.
Burying a random guy and snowballing.
No, like. I envision being kind of like a popular guy in a very classy way, and this is the complete opposite. This is being a popular guy in the most classless ways possible. I don't want to even know what's gonna happen after this, but oh no. No.
It's up to you fine fans to make my dream a reality of this shirt happening.
Yeah.
So you guys
let's have a contest. Whoever comes up with the best image or something.
That actually, yeah. Okay. If we got any artists listening, please send your art.
I'm just trying to think of what we could give them.
A free version of the shirt.
I'm concerned how this art's going to turn out. Very, very concerned.
Yeah, it has to be something you can wear in public, though. So
yeah,
because let's be honest here.
Yeah, it has to be something.
I kind of enjoy
the restriction. The image has to be PG-13.
Seriously, on the very serious note, I mean, this joke is pretty funny for a lot of you, even though it puts me in a really weird spot. But to be honest, just please make this shirt like PG-13 or PG, okay?
Yeah, like
Really, I mean, seriously, if like, honestly, because I think it honestly would completely kill the joke if you...
It would probably be funnier if it had Anthony with, like, snow all around him. And, like,
that would be good. That would be good. Just make it like a children's book. It's like, by Anthony Ta, illustrated by your name, I Love Snowballing. A children's story. That would be... No, that is just wrong. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be saying this.
There you go.
That's funny.
Yeah, I'll see that. Then we'll see if we should kickstart this.
No.
Kickstart it.
No.
Kickstart this, and then, like, one of the tiers, if we get enough money, will be Brandon and I make a children's book called I Love Snowballing.
I Love Snowballing by Bronson Fiore, illustrated by Bremen Miller.
It's a book of Anthony as a kid building snowballs.
Yes. There we go.
Oh man, that sounds like a great project right there. Just kind of say I love snowballing and just, it's like, oh man, that just reminds me of something, but I don't know. It's like this, you know, it's too vague right now for me to describe it, but yeah, that's gonna be like one of those, like, I love snowballing. It's just like me in a playground making a snowman, when really anybody who reads that title in a bookstore is gonna think, what? Yeah. Actually, the children's book, I'm for. The t-shirt, no.
I'm for both of these, so...
I'm for both as well. And posters, too, that Anthony can autograph.
Oh, there we go.
Make sure it's the children's story posters, not the t-shirt type posters. If we're gonna go forward this joke, I kind of want to keep to this children's story theme instead of the oh dear, here's some M-rated content theme.
The t-shirt I figured out what the t-shirt will be. Black t-shirt, anime version of you giving the thumbs up. It's snowing, and it'll say I love snowballing.
Okay, that t-shirt. Like that t-shirt is obviously, you know, it kind of says it's a joke. Yeah, I'm okay with that. You know, Bronson, that idea that you just mentioned, right? It reminds me a lot of this t-shirt idea we had like almost 2 years ago when we had the Bearfecta.
That was good.
Yeah,
the
chocolate bear.
That was
I remember
funny.
The one that says like shows like, you know, I said like, you know, Bronson's face giving the thumbs up. Chocolate bear approves.
That is a shame that had to die.
Yeah, it did.
Because Dennis.
Hey, we got a new thumbs up T-shirt. I mean,
so yeah, now
Kyrie's doing the cheeseburger effect, except hers is not as suggestive.
Yeah, hers, like, I just want to make that one just like this cheeseburger.
I mean, honestly, okay, actually, on this topic, people just watch What the Hail. Like, she's got the perfect clips to describe the cheeseburger effect, and it was really funny.
Speaking of which, we have a comment on that. Damn, Kyrie, great video. You should really do more like this. Comic humor was perfect. That was from Cray T. Yeah, we are in. I specifically have been like encouraging her, like, make more videos. You are very good you are naturally good at this. You should make more of them. Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, last comment. We've kind of already discussed this, but thoughts on Titanfall, since I know Nick's in the beta. What do you see doing better? Titanfall on Xbox One due its genre and hype, or Infamous due to larger console fan base?
We already talked about Titanfall enough. As far as what's going to do better, it is true that by the time that Infamous comes out, there'll probably be almost double the PlayStations as Xbox. But I still think Titanfall is going to do better, just based off of hype.
Yeah.
If we're talking about just on Xbox One, even just on Xbox One, I think it's going to sell better, even though there's twice as many PlayStations. Then again, if they were close or Infamous was a little bit ahead, I wouldn't be incredibly surprised, just from the standpoint of the user base. But I think Titanfall will sell better.
Pretty much the same, especially because of the PC fan base.
I mean, the hardware specs covers a very wide range.
But he's talking about just the Xbox One version.
Oh, okay, yeah. Even then, I still think because of the genre of the hype, like that.
Yeah, so you're talking about like Titanfall being exclusive to Xbox One?
Like, well, yeah, he's talking about will Xbox One will Titanfall sell more just on Xbox One than Infamous on PlayStation 4?
Oh, that's gonna be difficult because I think one of the big numbers to look for is in North America. Are there more PlayStation 4s in North America, or is there more Xbox Ones, or are they about even? Because, and here's the other thing too: if Titanfall comes, like, there's a lot of people out there who are definitely going to buy Titanfall for Xbox One, and then there are those who don't have a PC to run it, but really want to play Titanfall. Are they willing to pay $550 for a game system to play Titanfall?
Guys, breaking news here. YouTube plays Pokemon Fire Red. No, I am not joking.
Are you serious?
Yep. Started by Screen Team Gaming. If you don't know,
the same guy?
No, different people, different guy. Screen Team Gaming is they do like parodies, League of Legends videos.
How the fuck did they write code for that?
I don't know. Maybe they're like us, where they have a guy like Anthony that they work with. I mean, to be fair, like,
Anthony, could you write something like this?
I'm busy at the moment.
But if you weren't busy, could you?
Sorry, I got distracted. What was the what do you need me to do?
If you weren't, let's say you weren't busy, could you write a script like this for YouTube or Twitch?
A script like this meaning
like YouTube, the Pokemon.
Screen Team Gaming YouTube plays Pokemon Fire Red in color. So
wait, is this like a theater play?
No, this is a thing that is happening soon. They just started it. They're setting it up now so that people in the chat can control it.
Wait, YouTube's doing the same thing as
Twitch. Yes, it's through Screen Team Gaming. They do parodies and shit.
What?
Yeah.
So you want me to write an internet code that does this?
No,
do you think you could do that?
Ooh, that's gonna take a lot of time and testing.
It just crashed. The M1 sub circuit board is not installed. Just crashed right out of the gate. So, but someone's apparently trying to start and it, oh my god, it crashed right as I typed in start in all capital letters. So I broke it. I broke the YouTube one.
Damn it, Bronson.
Fucking A. They didn't even get the game started. I already broke it. It was on the start screen. I put in start, and shit broke. Oh, God. So, damn. So the question is now will the Fire Red team, once they actually get started, be able to catch up to the Twitch team?
This is ridiculous. This is crazy.
Dude, this is like if I was
this
studying
this is the new esports.
If I was like studying social sciences right now, I would be like flipping my shit. Like, you have no idea. Like just because, I mean, how often do you get a sample size of 100,000 people or 50 to 100,000 people trying to control one thing at once? I mean, if you think about this shit never happens.
That's true.
So, like, fucking, like, right now there is some, sociology professor that's just, his pants are wet and he's writing, like, so much shit about this right now. Like, just, no doubt. So yeah, we talked a lot about Titanfall, and I responded to him in the chat. Yeah, I don't know. I think Titanfall will do better. Not to say Infamous is going to do bad. Like, I think Infamous is going to do very well, especially because right now there is fuck all to play on the PS4 that you can't play elsewhere.
I could see Infamous doing like $1 million in the first month.
Yeah, I could. I can even see 2. I can even see 2 million. But oh, so you guys ready to call it? Last little second here to promote ourselves.
Yes. Subscribe to us on iTunes.
And review us on iTunes, because we don't have enough reviews to be rated. So, yeah. We need more. Review us. Positive reviews, because if enough of you review us, and we continue to keep our 5-star rating, we'll be one of the top podcasts on iTunes.
Which would be awesome.
Also, we will read our iTunes reviews on here if we get enough of them. So, we're also on YouTube. A good 50 of you have been watching our stuff on YouTube. It publishes to YouTube later. So, yeah, that's a thing if you want to watch us there. Which is understandable. You know, mobile devices, the YouTube app is a little bit better than going directly to our site. It happens sometimes. We are also going to be at a day of games at the Reno Collective March 1st. We don't know what time our panel is going to be. We'll make sure to tell you when that happens. But we are going to be there, and we are going to be doing a panel and generally just be around the whole day if you just want to hang out or talk to us or have us sign something. Or if my dream of these snowballing shirts happens, Anthony will be there to sign all the shirts. So...
This is such the classless way to get popular. This is just...
That would be so funny.
No.
Well, Anthony, I mean, no offense to our listeners, but with the exception of Extra Life, you guys do not step up to the plate when we ask for, like, donations or anything. So, Anthony, you'll probably luck out. Yeah. I say this, I wake up to my teaching.
It'd be awesome if it went viral.
Oh, no. I wake up tomorrow, my email, there's like 7,000 emails of make the snowballing shirt a reality. I will buy 12. Okay, hey, they got the YouTube stream working again. So now we got Fire Red versus Classic Red on who will finish first.
Well,
the other guy.
Red already has a huge lead.
Yeah.
This is probably going to be a new thing now.
And not to mention, Fire Red also has more content, so it's like you could be dicking around the islands.
Right now, only 17 people are watching Fire Red versus the 90,000 that are watching the other clusterfuck.
Maybe Fire Red will catch up more quickly because there's fewer people to cause a mess.
That's true. See? All kinds of fun experiments you could do with this. God, it's 12:42 in the morning. There are 50,000 people playing one game of Pokemon.
Well, to be honest, in Europe it's morning.
Okay, true enough.
Yeah.
Alright guys, well, that's it. I think that's all we gotta do to promote ourselves. As always. Oh, also, suggest games for 60-minute access that you want us to do. Also, right now, no PS4 games because Sony's dumb and hasn't taken HDCP protection off their console. So, yeah.
Ooh. Alright. Well, that concludes this week's episode of Unscripted Access. Thank you all for listening. We will be back next week. We are out.
Bye.
Bye.